do like we had fun.
That's always
But
the worst, Taylor.
yeah, I was
I
a
have
little
been
tired.
there.
We definitely stayed up late, and then this morning, the four of us, um, the four of us,
Okay. Hello. We are here. We're here. Wait, where's Kevin? Oh,
With
whoops.
his family,
He
literally
is.
Yeah.
and figuratively.
Kevin missing this week, conspicuously. Gone but not forgotten. We love him. Yeah, we recorded a cool episode of the Dungeons and Dragons and Discord podcast featuring Kevin's tiny little Verdun paladin, Rin, on Friday. Ren, it's right here. The VOD is like up on the channel if anybody wants to check that out. But it was pretty wild. It was like really a good time. We got into like crazy time travel. Arms were like cut off, magical swords, demons. They had like a fight where like they just kicked the snot out of like an insanely powerful hello Brazilian dragon.
Felipe!
Yeah, we love the Brazilian dragon. We stand you here. Hello, Felipe. Uh, yeah, it was a really wild podcast though, and it was really fun to live stream it. Like I had some cool maps that I pushed around, but it was so swingy, you guys. Like the first fight, they obliterated everything. The last fight, they were very on their heels. Josh was like scared. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyway, enough about me. How are all of you doing? This is where they get shy and bashful every time when I say, "How are you doing?" and you all just smile back at me.
I think we're trying to be polite and not talk over each other.
You are. That's exactly what happens every time. I need a better way to like ask specific questions of individuals. You would think that I would be accomplished at this by now, but I guess not.
Well, I just finished almost killing Taylor in D&D.
Oh yeah.
For now.
More D&D. Yeah.
For now.
This time.
Yep.
So far.
I love Imre though. I've been waiting to use that Twilight Sanctuary ability.
It is the coolest thing, and 100% saved every single member of the party because I think I would have killed everybody.
So good.
Yeah.
Except Arnold.
For context, anybody out there, we all hang out at the Post Show Recaps Discord, and we're doing a play-by-post adventure. And Zed is dungeon mastering for the first time, and Taylor is playing a Drow cleric of Alistray, one of like my favorites, and is a Twilight Domain cleric from Tasha's. And basically, the group got attacked by a couple of swarms, Dread Blossom swarms, I believe from the Monster Manual 3 or 4. From 3.5, I don't remember, but yeah, these swarms are nightmarish. They have an aura of like paralyzing poison around them. They have an internal poison if you're in their space. If you're paralyzed and they melee attack you, they drain your constitution. What else is going on? They have like a 60-foot movement speed. They fly. They're resistant to all physical damage types. Magic weapons, 0 fucks given. They care not. They're a swarm of flowers. Magic swords, magic arrows, don't care, half damage. So yeah, it's been like a 60-hour combat, which we're playing out via text. But still, like even in D&D terms, it's like 5 or 6 rounds. It's probably like 6 rounds of combat.
I was like, oh, I've been paralyzed for 12 seconds.
For 12 seconds.
Literally 12 seconds. And it's been like
But
2
also
days.
like a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's great though. I'm loving it. It is really nice. Like, in the midst of work, it's like 90 degrees and I'm sweaty and moody and I'm like, I'm gonna play D&D for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is wonderful.
There's like
Just to
really,
like log in, log out.
Yep.
yeah.
Going
There's a
to
lot of
lunch.
fun to like play by post D&D. Like I've played in a couple of forums over the years. There was a point where like my home group had kind of folded up and we started talking about a World of Darkness campaign. And I was going to run Vancouver. Actually, Kurt plays a character in my Vancouver World of Darkness game. And it kind of fell apart a little bit. Like, folks, we were having trouble scheduling. What else is new? It wasn't really working out. And I was so excited to, like, play with those games that I got in, like, a cool play-by-post forum online. And it was really fun. Like, you get into these zones where, like, even in the downtime, right, where you find people to kind of, like, write with, like, writing partners. And we would come up with, like, these almost novellas, I saved a bunch of the stuff for them that, like, they read well. When you went back and, like, edited it and formatted it after after the fact. Like, very cool. And it's really fun for us in the context we're using it as a D&D exercise. We're like, yeah, we get to go on these long, sprawling adventures where you spend a couple of weeks, like, in character all day. Not
Yeah.
all day, but yeah, you're stealing 20 minutes here and 15 minutes there to, like, oh my God, like Sheldon, you just were on a crazy one where your character, like, almost died a couple times, right?
Yeah, that's par for the course for Brecca a little bit, though.
Yeah.
It's not an adventure unless he's like real close to death. But yeah, we went down like into the depths of the ocean, and one of the things that I find the most fun about it is like what Taylor was saying, you can kind of like hop on and hop off, but if there are other people that really want to role play, even if you're not doing something, if the DM is like, "Hey, I don't have anything currently for you, but feel free to like kind of like pal around and investigate the city that you're in," it is a really interesting place for role play outside of kind of our other channels on the Discord. It's really neat.
It's fantastic because you have a couple of characters with like downtime in the middle of this thing. Like even now, we just got into this short rest, and yeah, people can like sit there and talk all night. And it's like that thing we're in a session that you have 4 or 5 hours together as a group for the night. We don't do it anymore. Like when I was young and we played every freaking afternoon, we would spend hours role playing around the campfire. Not every night, but like some nights where like you take that rest and people don't, it's the same thing as the beginning of the night. People want to be like conscientious of each other, right? We're all like sharing time and investing time, and nobody wants to like monopolize that space in a live game. And doing it by text really lets you dig like so deep into like the character interactions and all this kind of subtlety. It's really, really nice.
I also like I think my favorite thing about it is the like subtle character moments, and like, I mean, from a writing standpoint, like that's the best. Like I can be like, Imre like smiles warmly at so and so and says like, something ridiculous, and like, it's like, it's so, you can be so much more expressive because you can take those moments like really write out what you're doing.
It's almost like that distinction between like reading a book and watching a movie, right? Where you're able to like give the exposition, like, and give the like internal monologue a little bit. It like, we can do that when we role play, and I certainly try to sometimes, right? But you can convey a lot with your words, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I love the record after the fact. I love like coming to this place where like it's said and done, and you could go back and read it all.
Yeah.
Like clearly as we stream these games, like I really like being able to go back to the game afterwards and like revisit it. And as this like storyteller, as like a DM, a game master, whatever, it's like so valuable for me to like see it happening and like watch the stuff that I do and be like, it's that whole like Malcolm Gladwell, right? Like practice with intention to improve, right? To be able to like reflect on the thing and see it back. Like I catch myself doing all this stuff that I'm like, don't do that again,
It's
Charge
also
your
fun to
headphones
catch
this
what like other players are doing in the background, where like sometimes
Yeah.
I think I get like too focused in what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
then like watching it again or reading it again, you're like, well, I'm loving these choices that you're making. Like it's really neat to be able to revisit.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the feedback I get from players is like, in a live session, you have to be like quick, right? The improv is like fast. That's the nature of like what we're doing, right? You have to be able to like talk extemporaneously in character with motivation and like respond to this thing that you have no idea what it is until I say it, right? And there's that pressure. And I do think, to like your point, Sheldon, like especially in combat, I think it's probably the worst. But even out of combat, where you're like, okay, I have this thing I want to do, and like you're waiting for that beat, you're looking at your character sheet, you're double checking like how to like situate it, and like other people are like talking and everything's happening, but you're like, whoa, tunnel
So
vision,
stressful.
right? Yeah, and like all of this stuff is going like right over your head, right? And like to be able to have the time to like luxuriate in the moment, to be like, okay, what am I gonna say? And like go make a cup of coffee, like sit down outside and like compose your thoughts before you respond. Like it lends to like some really powerful moments. But anyway, I could talk about this all night. Maybe we should. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
I'm
The
scared.
play-by-post roundtable.
Yeah. I would love that. There was a great suggestion given to us by Patriarch of Post Show Recaps there, Josh Wigler, the Filibuster, which I just should like come on in the middle of the week and like stream for an hour where I just talk about whatever. And I'm like,
Yes.
honestly,
You
like,
could do
I'm
that.
full of
You
hot
could
air.
absolutely do that.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot to say.
I've experienced it happen in real life.
Yep.
Yeah. I could be a real chatty Cathy. Anyway. Cool. So yeah, here we are. Episode 10 of Kings of Neon. We're down at Kevin. But narratively, this is very appropriate as Nick made a hard choice to commit to like his family's needs, to deal with like his dad who was injured in the game, not Kevin's dad, but Nick Shivdar. Found out his dad took a spill, and so Nick steps off screen to deal with family issues. His priorities clearly his home life rather than the mysterious forces at play around him. Ancient enemy of Durga, Mahishasura, has surfaced in the Neon City, but you all have identified and put him down to one extent or another, and apparently that is enough comfort for Nick Shivdar to step away from everything that's happening. So before we like engage back in and I put one of you badly on the spot and say, who wants to do the opening montage this week? Is there anything we need to go over? Any like mechanical stuff we should check? Any rulesy things or questions?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. We've had some cool evolution from some of the characters. Others, like, not as much, haven't pushed as hard. But I know I say this every week, I feel like so much better week by week about, like, my comprehension of the rules. You know, there's, like, so much stuff in these books, and every week I kind of dig in and read it again and catch something that I overlooked, and, like, something else clicks for me. And so I'm having a lot of fun, like, kind of digging into everything at this point. But, sweet. So I suppose with that, I'll ask you guys, who wants to do the opening monologue? Jonathan did it last time.
I don't remember anything.
Uh-oh.
I mean, if I pull my notes up, I can maybe do it, but my head is full of murder flowers right now.
Taylor, do you want to do it? I'm happy to do it. You don't
Head
have
full of
to.
murder flowers.
I have quite the list of notes from last time, so we'll see if I can turn it into something comprehensive.
Yeah, sure. You'd think I would have mentioned it before right now, but yeah.
Didn't you say this is how it's supposed to be, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely like getting to that point where I'm like,
yeah, this is where
I
we're
just
at.
like quietly
That's
took the
right.
training wheels off the bike and didn't tell the kid, you know, and I'm like, oh, you can ride that, can't you? No?
But you're back behind us, right?
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm holding the
appropriate
seat.
for Lyra to do it, given where we left off,
Feels like.
based on what my notes just reminded me of.
Is it Lyra? I have lots of things where Lyra wasn't even there. Okay. Well, all right. So, yeah, it was like this morning, or is it like? When did we get to the hospital?
After the gala, you were at
Yeah,
the
so-
gala last night. Jonathan got
Same
shot
night.
up. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a few minutes ago.
The nights are relentless, man. They just
Yeah,
keep
it's literally
going.
like the same night.
It's like late in the night now, right?
Yeah.
You've been at the hospital all night, like we're I
Right.
think at like just about at sunrise, right?
Right.
Like
Okay.
almost like that happened intentionally.
All right. So, yeah. Jonathan got shot, and we were hanging out in his room earlier tonight. John gave Iggy his phone, which I'm pretty sure Iggy still has. And we were texting with Agent Perez, and she's really pissed because we're not telling her anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I understand why she's pissed. kind of feel bad for her a little bit, but also like not really because, you know, police. She's not helpful in any way. She's just kind of a pain in the butt. Nick is like his dad got like messed up, so he's like really distracted. And yeah, I haven't seen him like at all tonight. And he's gone. But anyway, we decided to go check on Lyndon because Charlie says that there were people outside and didn't tell us until we contacted him. So Iggy goes,
Charlie.
yeah, Iggy went there to check on Lyndon. Lyndon was fine. Asher and I went to meet up with them. So Asher and I snuck in because Charlie said there were people. We like talked to Lyndon a bit about what happened at the fundraiser. He was very shocked because he's in love with Anastasia, of course. We need to get them to talk. That's important. That needs to happen. But, yeah, we talked to Lyndon, like got him to talk. Said something forced him to kill people, like, but it was himself. So there's something there that I'm not really sure what to do about, which I get, man. Like I'm dealing with not good things that are telling me to do not good things, but you gotta do good things, and murdering people is not a good thing. So anyway, yeah, we head out of the warehouse, and who shows up but the special task force? And yeah, Escher tried to tell them to stop, like, and leave us alone. And yeah, there's something horrible happened.
A technical term.
Yep.
Mhm. It is a technical term. There was a disastrous convince roll by Escher as Escher, Iggy, and Lyra stood in the alley outside the door of this warehouse, Lyndon with them, Special Agent Johnson confronting the pair. Suburban
And
parked. That's what I meant. I keep calling him Johnson. But it's Special Agent Anderson.
Not Johnson and Johnson.
Not Johnson.
No, it's
Johnson.
Anderson and Anderson.
Anderson and Anderson.
Yeah. I set myself up for problems on this one because I really just want to Special Agent Johnson them every time. But as Special Agent Anderson stands in front of you in the alley, the Suburban under the street lights at the end of like the narrow corridor, I think like light rain kind of falling. We hear the shattering sounds of glass. And I think the camera opens after the sound, and we see like the glass like falling in shards, reflecting this bright light out in a multitude of directions as this beam of light harrows down into the darkened alley on our group as we come back into frame. And so I think that, yeah. So what's happening here, to clarify, is the three of you, along with Lyndon and Special Agent Anderson in the alley, you are here together. There is a story tag in play of Burning Radiance 2 that is like smashing down into the ground around you. And I think that I would like each of you to face danger, to roll to face danger.
Don't forget our unofficial story tag of Pudding 12.
Okay. You do have a bunch of pudding.
There's a powerful unofficial story tag at play of Pudding 12.
I would say Lyra has some in her pockets, but technically she's still in a dress, which has pudding on it.
Has pudding on it.
Amazing.
Pudding stain that you can't really see.
Yeah.
It's a black dress.
I
That's
think
a
Jonathan
status.
has the story tag. Of
Yeah,
Pudding
Jonathan
12.
has some pudding.
Probably.
It might be Pudding 11 now because I think
Erasmus.
I've given away a
Erasmus
couple.
took
Yeah,
it.
Erasmus
Yeah.
took it.
Yeah.
So Iggy, Escher, and Lyra, I'm gonna have you roll to face danger.
Working on it.
Sure.
Okay.
Jonathan will be right with you.
You enjoy your pudding
Like
and your
you enjoy-
safe use.
What in the heck?
Okay.
Those D100s are
I was spamming D100s to push because I realize every week I have the invite player link to this game just like balled out there open. Now it's grayed over. There is a spoiler text over it, but if I mouse over that, it will show. And I'm like, I probably just should push this out of the chat frame, you know?
Okay, good. That makes me less nervous about like 5 or
fear
6,100.
Boys from the Baltic Star, that Johnson guy, exactly.
Okay.
I'll come back.
So yeah, basically what's happening here, just to like set anybody up who's like coming in for the first time, it's City of Mist. I roll no dice. I don't have any characters in that same way. The players roll the dice, and there are all these tags. There are story tags. There are status tags. There are different kind of narrative devices that come into play, and once they're important, they become relevant. So what's happening here is they failed a roll badly. I used my MC move to make something horrible happen, and what's horrible is that there's a burning radiance hammering down on them from above, and now they have to all face danger or they will be subjected to negative statuses to their characters. So yeah.
Okay, I have 5. My cards are struggling big time to load properly, but I have predict a foe's next move and gut sense of danger.
Yep, these are very relevant.
In fact, facing danger. Determination to achieve, not unmatched work ethic. I don't think that makes sense.
I don't think
take
that
it away.
applies.
I got rid of it. And the classic persistent in the face of obstacles. So it's 4.
I think persistent in the face of obstacles definitely counts. I don't know if determination to achieve fits here. I don't mean to like push too hard against you.
Sure, no, you should.
The question is like, are you trying to achieve or are you just trying to stay alive as horrible light burns down on you? Like this is a reaction, not you like trying to make something happen, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's logical.
Because those are like broad tags. Part of the thing with like the character design is they say like each character could have a broad tag, something that like might maybe apply anywhere. And certainly persistent in the face of obstacles like checks that box off, pun intended. But so okay, cool. So you have a power of 3. Do we have anything else happening here? It's gonna help you?
That's gonna help me? Probably not.
No, you got no other story tags. You got no positive statuses happening, right? Is anybody helping you make this roll is the question? Sounds like not.
I only have a hurt point with that.
Of course.
No.
They're not the best.
So the way this burning radiance story tag works is that this tag as a story tag, it's just like applicable to everything here, is going to reduce your dice by 2. So you have a -2 on this roll.
Are there any weakness tags involved is the other question.
I wasn't going to call on any, though you certainly always can. Is it emotional exhaustion?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, hey, if not now, when, you know?
Yeah. Which is gonna advance that theme just as I'm marking crack on it, actually. But I think that's right. I think emotional exhaustion is right.
Okay. So this roll, you're rolling with a power of 0.
Yep.
Yeah. Go for it. Face danger.
Okay. It's a mess. It's gonna be great.
Oh, that is
it's
a
terrible,
big
right? Yeah.
miss.
Okay.
Yes. So we're gonna have everybody roll before I like narratively explain how this all plays out. So that's Escher's attempt to face danger. Who else? Who do we got here? Lyra, Iggy.
I guess Lyra is immediately going to like just go into full hide and that mode. So I guess I'll go for invisibility.
Okay.
Would incorporeal help here?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that there was like concrete like being smashed. Something is colliding with the ground, which is great. Heightened senses.
Ooh, I mean, I almost think that would work against you.
Against me?
Yeah, like
It's
your
too
heightened.
bright.
Yeah, your
Well,
heightened
we can do
senses.
sensory overload.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that I have to call on sensory
I mean,
overload.
yeah. So would heightened senses? Would we
I
still
don't
put
think
that
so.
in?
I don't think
Okay.
heightened senses applies. But what I would give you out of this run here, there's another like tag in this run that I think might be relevant, which is sees that which is hidden.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Great. Cool.
I also think that since Escher rolled first, I'm just gonna say that, and because they can see the future, I'm gonna say that Escher like tries to. Zed doesn't know what's gonna happen, but Escher knows something about what's gonna happen, and I think they're gonna
Yeah.
try and like get out in front of Lyra and like be in the way. So I think I'm giving Lyra a status of like defended or protected.
Oh, sick.
Aw.
Yeah,
You giving them protected one from what? A hell point?
from a help point, yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Escher burns a hell point.
Thank you.
That's cool.
I would do the same for Iggy, but I don't have any help points for Iggy.
I got Iggy.
But narratively, that's what I want to do.
Hmm.
I also how about acrobat, stealthy, and nimble?
I think nimble definitely fits. Acrobat and nimble are like so close. What do
I
you
know.
guys think? You think
Similar.
both work? I guess both work. Yeah, take both.
I like
Yeah.
nimble acrobat. I feel like when I chose that, I was thinking of like when she's like jumping around the city.
Parkour, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but like nimble's more of like that specific reaction. So yeah, it's kind of up to you if that sounds good.
Well, it's your call. You tell me if you think it fits. Like, I'm willing to let it go here. I guess you're going to take everything I'll give you, right? So yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Somebody's got to succeed here.
Yeah. So now here's my question: would impenetrable mind help me? In
No,
this
this is a
situation.
physical
Okay, all right.
attack. This is a great
That
question
helps
because
me.
like statuses fall under like different kind of domains or categorizations, right? And this is like a physical assault against you, and your like psychological fortitude is not going to help in that. Yep.
All right. Well,
That's
then
an
I think
interesting
that's
question.
it.
Okay, so Lyra's ultimately got 5 power tags checked, right? She's got a
Must
weakness
be
tag.
nice.
Yup. She's got a weakness tag checked, bringing it to 4. She's got a help point, bringing it back to 5. But then you have this story tag of burning radiance, so I need you to -2 there.
Right.
This is a big roll. Okay, and go for it, Lyra. Face danger.
Jeez.
The power of 3. Great success. Okay, that's Lyra taking us to Iggy.
So-
Iggy has. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna give Iggy also a help point of like I think Lyra, like in her like shifting into invisibility, I think she sees Escher like trying to get in front of her, and then she like goes to like grab Iggy and like put her invisibleness in front of him.
Okay.
So yeah, it's essentially the same tag of like protected or like hidden.
Okay, I dig it. Yeah, let's call it hidden 1. So
Yeah.
yeah, Lyra's gonna burn a help juice for you, so you get +1 from that, Iggy. And then what do we got, Kurt?
Iggy has teleportation. Iggy has someone's at the door. And Iggy has as a weakness tag trying to benefit himself. He's got the 2- for burning radiance and the 1 help point from Lyra. So that's 1 plus. So it's a negative overall, but yeah.
Rough. Okay. That's a mild success. That's still not bad.
Nice.
Okay. So I think that like what we see happen here is that the light comes like hammering down, the glass kind of raining down around everything. We hear glass like tinkling off the sides of the metal corrugated building, shattering down around you. Escher, you are subjected to like the full effects of this, and I think that you are blinded too.
Okay.
Iggy, while like Lyra kind of shoves you back, their invisible form like dematerializing in front of you, I think you feel a piece of like rubble that kind of like blasts up from the ground as this beam hits like concrete in front of you, and it kind of ruptures, like popping back up at you. I think that you're going to take a status of bruised 1. And Lyra, going like insubstantial wraith, like you are unfazed by all of this. But I think as like the light is like burning down in you, your own inability to like perceive that which is hidden, and your wraith like qualities allow you to kind of like, as you're looking, we see the like, you know, black and white, almost like wraith like overlay of everything, right? It's almost like these outlines moving in the light, like a photo exposed negative, right? And Lyndon has been like completely like thrown up off the ground, smashed into the back building, and I think we see him literally like cower. This like bold, bravado, swaggering, like violent murderer of a man who you all have been like dealing with for days and met in a fight club surrounded by his gang of toughs, I think curls into the fetal position at the base of the wall, like his head tucked down between his knees, his arms over his head. Like, I think you just see him like almost shaking. Agent Johnson is like completely.
Anderson.
I'm sorry. God, I'm the worst.
Hope you folks are playing a drinking game out there.
You should be, by the way.
A good one.
It's going to be a real fun Sunday. His actual name is Anderson Johnson, and so Agent
Get
Anderson.
out of here.
Agent Anderson. I think we see him like wheel around away from it, his back to all of you as the light is like burning, and you just see him like groaning, kind of like doubled over, but like surprisingly holding his ground for a seemingly mortal dude in this onslaught. And with that, I'll say, like, probably, Lyra, you're able to, like, react first. You can have the spotlight, unless anybody else wants to do something here. This is, like, the nebula space. Kurt, what were you going to say?
So, the tracking cards at the bottom don't have status as an option. Does that matter? Like, is this just tracking card bruised, or
Story tag?
Yeah, you could just put it as a story tag and just note a status there, or you could leave it as tracking card, right? I just would give like a little dash of like, that's a status attached to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Nope, good question. So yeah, what do you guys want to do here, right? Who wants to respond? Who responds? What's the response?
So was it just like
It was on Taylor.
like one big blast and it
Yeah.
stopped?
Yeah, there's still like this light emanating down, the force of it. Like it's almost like, I want you to imagine like if the light were like a physical column,
Yeah.
that as it like connected with the ground, there was this kind of like rippling explosion. And like this is all happening like heartbeat fast kind of stuff, right? Like think cinematic, right? So like it hasn't stopped. You're still surrounded by this burning radiance of the story tag, but like the initial burst has been sustained. So what's your immediate reaction?
I guess I would try it and see where it's coming from. Like where the origin. And you were saying too, like I see something that is invisible or unseen.
Well, I think that like your opponent was unseen to you as this attack came, so
Sure.
it was warranted in like your response. So I think the question here is then like, it sounds like you're making an investigate roll to identify the source of this danger.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I should reset everything.
And just like, you know, again, you guys, order of operations here is Lyra's going to like counter per power. Anybody can help or interfere as you see fit. And this is one of these things I haven't talked about it like mechanically in the sense, but there's a lot of like linked roles in this, right? Like the investigate may be like the setup for you to then make like a change the game for Iggy to like teleport up there and like go toe to toe, whatever, right?
Mhm.
That's just like an example of how it might work, but yeah.
So, I guess like the way that Lyra would probably go about investigating this is like to follow, like see where the column is coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and like is it a point that she can like reach? Because you'd probably try and like go up and like see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm gonna say she would try and reach out like with her mind and she can sense anybody that isn't like immediately known to her.
Okay.
So still invisible, still incorporeal. But I don't know.
think
Do you want to keep?
invisible gives you a die here because like not being identifiable by whoever you're looking for, it gives you the edge. But I think the incorporeal is like doubling up, right? Like it helped you to avoid damage, but not to like identify the threat, right?
Yes, sounds good. Would seize that which is hidden still apply?
Yes, absolutely. I think sees that which is hidden is super relevant, as is I think in this case heightened senses works.
Okay. And I think we'll do acrobat here.
Okay. As you're like
it's
dodging
just, like,
and like moving, right?
Yeah.
To like try to like get the angle to like see up there. Okay.
We're not. Is she like dodging stuff still? Is like nimble? Is it still happening? Or are we kind of done with that?
I think acrobatic here to like give you the advantage of like perspective, but nimble was like for the reaction to your own point, right?
And then detect thoughts.
Yep, and I think that that's super fair. So what do you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 dice. Any of your weaknesses? Gosh, there's so many, Lyra. Holy crap, really good ones. Maybe like hothead. I'm gonna give you as like your friends are clearly like hurt and in danger, and you're like much more focused on your opponent than on your allies. Like that feels 100%. Fun right now,
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we have this like still existing story tag of burning radiance. You're like looking up through this burning light trying to perceive. So ultimately you make an investigate roll with the power of 2.
Okay, here we go.
7 is a mild success. You get clues equal to your power. So I'm going to respond to this, but you have 2 clues which you could use. What do you want to go for?
Can I see who or what it's coming from?
Yes.
Yay.
I think as like you peer up, you see again, we like blink and the camera like is in this Lyra vision. Which is the one ring of power, by the way, for anybody not paying attention, right? So like we just see the like this like photo negative impression of like a figure standing in like this blasted out window high up in the warehouse, like beaming down this light at you, their hand projected out in front of you, the other one like raised up above them with a long like rod pointed towards the sky.
No.
I think that's what you see. Like their whole form kind of like rippling in the wind around you.
Oh my god, I'm so sad. Oh my god.
You set yourself up for this pain.
I know I did.
I don't know what to tell you.
No. Okay. Shit.
That's the tagline right there. Shit. Welcome to Kings of Nina.
Okay. Oh my god. I don't know what the next one should be. I can see where the person is. I can see that it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
I can't I don't know. Trying to look through this beam of light.
So with investigating with clues, like there's a couple of different things you could do. You could like retroactively use the clue. You could use the clue to like tell me a thing, right? That like you want to establish about the fiction. Like reverse clues work. You could hold it for later on in this encounter to like understand something else. Or you could just use it right here to like get some more explicit information to like inform the rest of what you all are going to do.
You said they're in like an open window.
Mm-hmm.
How about
open is like a misnomer.
Like a blown
window.
out.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, yeah. That's a big difference there.
Mm-hmm. It's a game of words.
So you said I can throw something in there.
Yeah, like when you use clues, right? What do I have here? Right. So reverse clues. You could use a clue to insert information through a detail that like matches what you know already. Like so. Okay, you see this person in the window. If you want to tell me something about them to establish part of like the fiction, like you obviously can't like apply a status to them or like
Right,
hobble
right.
them in that way. But you
So
can create a truth about this moment if you want. It's like a moment for the player to like grab narrative control of the story.
okay, so they're in a blown out window. We're in like alleyways, right? Can there be like there's like a fire escape right
Oh
beneath this
yeah.
window?
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely. You like
Okay.
turn looking and the fire escape like goes all the way up to this big like row of windows up towards the like the roof of this place for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm headed.
That's very awesome. Okay, as we see like Lyra's like invisible kind of outline in this light like shifting away, it like dives, rolling away from Iggy, like standing straight up in the middle of the alley. Escher's still like protectively in front of Iggy who's behind. What's happening with the other two? Anything?
What did Iggy teleport?
You tell me. Yeah,
I
where
mean,
what happened?
like, is he permitted to, having taken?
Yeah.
He would. Does he have any idea how big this column of light is while he's in it?
Like so, yeah, sort of. It's not like it doesn't fill up the entire alley. Yes, I think
It-
he could like see that the car at the end is still in darkness. Like,
He would teleport. Just oh well. Actually, no, he wouldn't. Well, the two. What he kind of has to, doesn't he? Because he used that tag.
well, you don't have
What
to
I
like
hit
go
is zero
far. Like,
results. Was that?
you don't have to go like farther than you want, right?
Oh
Like,
no,
in other
that's not the
words,
issue. It's just that people are. He's not. He's being watched, so
mhm.
he wouldn't teleport. Um, so he will. Um is is the is the is the column of light still? Was it like a single hit, or is it continuing to hurt?
So it's not. I think that like it hit with like concussive force, and now it's just like this light that's kind of like overwhelming you,
Oh,
like your senses rather
okay.
than like physical pain. Yeah.
Um, is there a dumpster that he can jump in and close the lid on top?
Absolutely.
Then he will do that.
Okay, I think that yeah, like in that moment, like you did use teleport for like the face danger, so you probably like nobody was looking directly at you. You were in the back, right? Everybody else is looking up. You teleport to the side of the dumpster and like throw the top up and like.
Well, I think since I had zero power tags anyway, I think we can retroactively say he didn't use the teleport because he wouldn't have. I forgot he was in full view and light. He wouldn't have used it, so he'll run to the dumpster and jump in.
Okay. Okay. Escher.
Uh, Asher is in front of their friends and blinded, so they do not see their friends running in various directions away from them. I think they're just kind of like a bit staggered from
Sure.
being, as one might say, blinded by the light.
Mhm.
And I don't think they've gone anywhere yet. And
Okay.
now they're like,
There's no.
they can't really see. They're like
Mhm.
totally like dazed,
Mhm.
and their friends have disappeared. So
Mhm.
now they're panicking a little bit.
And I think that that's like the perfect segue. As it's like blinded by the light,
Yeah.
right? And like we like fade out for a minute until we like hear the music like growing louder, right?
So we're being
And
attacked by Bruce Springsteen.
yes, yes, the
He's
boss.
the boss. It's a boss fight.
Is
It's a
on.
boss
It
fight.
is a boss fight.
Am I revved up like a deuce too?
Yeah. Yes, you sure
I've
are.
always wondered what that looks like. Could you tell me?
To
No,
be
you're
revved up
blinded.
like
You
a
still
deuce.
wonder.
I wish we were fighting Bruce Springsteen, but instead, my heart is breaking.
You create these scenarios, Taylor.
And
I'm just here
I'm
to facilitate
happy.
them.
I am so happy, but I'm also sad.
Technically, Escher is dancing in the dark because they can't. See.
That's also very true.
Oh my god.
I'm pulling up a song list because this is not going to stop.
No, you shouldn't. And so I think as we hear it, like, wrapped up like a noose, another runner in the night, the camera opens back up on Jonathan's hospital room as like the music is like playing off the TV.
He's like
you know?
listening to it in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to put that juju on Jonathan, but like it's definitely on the TV in this moment. Jonathan, yeah. What do we see as the camera like opens back up and you're still in the hospital?
I think this was probably like a very bright light that he saw like out of the window, right? Kind of like a column coming down.
Sure. Yeah. Out of like the hospital window, we see in the distance like this light refracting up down in the blue collar district many blocks away. Yeah.
I think he's feeling like a very just internal need to like go to where that bright light is. Like even I don't think he knows like his friends are there. It's more just like
he was born to run. Yeah, I get it.
Like flame.
Yes,
God,
exactly. Yeah, so I think he's gonna try to get out of this hospital and go there.
Okay. I think that there's like, yeah, Jonathan's got a divination theme book, and so the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you feel this visceral sense of danger as you like peer as the boss like hammers on from the tinny TV speakers and the neon like cascade of lights from the city like pour in through this hospital window. You look and you see this like kind of beam of light, this white light refracting up, and so yeah, we see you like get up out of the bed, right? And how are you going to get there? What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to jump out the window and just try to fly.
I think that's perfect. As we see you like walk towards the window and like flip the clasps, like pulling it open, I think we hear a voice in the hallway, like a familiar sound of a voice, like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Jonathan Keeley. Is he here?"
Out.
And with that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna jump before she gets in there, before she can see him.
Perfectly. And with that, we see you like stand up on like the radiator, kind of like turn yourself sideways as you step through the like narrow gap of this hospital window that won't open all the way, and throw yourself out of it. Right. And you tell me, what do we see next? Like, does it fade back to the fight, or do we like see you closing in on it?
No, I think it fades back to the fight.
Okay,
I think, yeah, the last you see me like go out the window and then just wings unfurling and then cuts back.
Yes, this like cloud of kind of dust motes rising up around as the wings like roll out of his back, the like dust catching all the like various like bits of color from this like cacophony of light that is this city. And yeah, we like snap back to the alley where Escher like stands blinking, completely blind despite their ability to see that which has yet come to pass. We hear the like lid of the dumpster like ding 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 ding, ding as the plastic kind of like rattling sets in place. Iggy surrounded by food that he would not serve to his worst enemy. And Lyra, what are you doing?
She's like making a dash for that fire escape under the window. I'm gonna try and get up to this person.
Okay, so you start like your wraith like form leaps, right? You like grabbing onto the bars despite this like incorporeal nature, and you start like scaling up the side of the building, like racing towards it. Why don't we have you make a sneak around roll to see if you can get here without your enemy identifying you?
Yeah. Invisibility, incorporeal.
Yes, both these count now.
Acrobat.
Yes, we'll give you that one.
Stealthy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's about it.
Okay, and then you're subtracting 2 from the burning radiance, and you can go ahead and make a sneak around roll.
Sneak around. Me.
A mild success. I get to choose one. Someone unimportant noticed you. Nah. We've done that. That's like not relevant right here. So the idea is, are you perceived by a secondary sense? Like, does your enemy identify that you're coming? That seems very straightforward and binary. You must leave something behind or be discovered. Do you have anything on you that would be like bad to leave behind?
What does Lyra have on her right now?
Sometimes this is a very like clear answer. I mean, we could very simply say like, sorry, you're identified, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think that she has much on her at the moment.
Yeah, you're not like bringing a weapon. You're already leaving the most important thing behind.
She has her
your
phone,
friends.
but like, you know, that's it.
Okay, so I think that as we see Lyra like scaling up this fire escape, like leaping to it, I think that the light like shifts slightly out of the alley, like kind of like like this radiant beam now washing down across the fire escape. And I think we see like Wraith like insubstantial like form like burn off like smoke as you're like legit just like standing in this beam of light making your way up. Your enemy entirely focused on you, but you've like made it a good way up. You just have not like gotten the jump on them. So what do you want to do? I mean, anybody else can like jump in here, but unless you tell me, I'm just going to focus on Lyra.
Yeah, I mean, she'll keep going.
Okay.
She'll like get like probably a little bit more angry as she's climbing, but she'll keep going. And I think she's also yelling at this point, like, "Stop it! Stop! What are you doing?" Like screaming. Now that she's been exposed, I
think this like voice like booms echoing through the alley like scion of evil, I will drive you back as the dawn banishes the darkness. I have felt your power growing for nights, but I find you now, and this is your reckoning.
Oh my god.
It is.
Light like beaming down into the alley. What are you gonna do, Lyra?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This is a moment where like you could like attack if you're trying to like attack or something, like just like take it out of like it's hard because we're all D&D players, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to like spend rounds closing the distance, you know what I mean? Like you could get yourself there as you see fit. This like parkour acrobatic insubstantial aura of terrible power street punk girl can like be there if you want to be there. It just comes down to like how you want to proceed, you know? Yep. I think like to give you a minute to breathe, like in the alley, Iggy, you hear from within the dumpster this like soft weeping of like, I never wanted any of this. I never wanted this. As like Lyndon sobs curled up in a fetal position next to the dumpster. And I think like Agent Anderson is like screaming into a walkie-talkie like, we need boots on the ground. We need guns. Get the chopper. We need to bring the chopper in. Somebody contact Perez.
Oh, no.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I guess Lyra's just gonna kind of like still yelling like, "You don't know me. I'm not a scion of evil, you crazy bastard." And I think that she's like acrobating her way up to the window and like is there like a lip that she can like grab onto? All right, so yeah, she's like she acrobats her way up like I don't know, doing flips and shit. And like she'll try to jump on like grab the lip of the window and like do the swinging like double kick to the chest to like push them back out of the window.
Okay, incredible. I think that as like we see Lyra like this like wraith like form burned away, and now she is like merely this girl in like dark dress flapping around her as she like vaults herself up like flipping in through the glass window. I think that this figure like turns and you realize you're standing on like a catwalk above the warehouse,
Oh,
right? Now it's like you're in the warehouse itself and you like blast through your own glass. This figure like turns at you, this like white cascading all around them, as like they turn their head, like driving directly at you. This column of light filling the alley grows dark again amidst the sounds of like a sobbing Linden. And I think this figure is like, I will not be deceived by your ignorance. Our enmity goes back across the ages. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just come like charging down the catwalk at them, and I think that they are just like roaring at you, like,
Yeah.
you do not know the power of the evil which consumes you, but I will drive it back from whence it came. And I think that this is you going toe to toe.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Taylor.
No, this is both awesome and sad. Oh my goodness. Son of a biscuit. All right. I'm not invisible or incorporeal, and I'm certainly not in darkness. She will release her aura of terrible power, though.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Can I call an acrobat again because she's pulling her acrobat moves? Okay.
Yes, this is an entirely like different thing that's happening here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like as she's doing, I mean, I'm gonna call on Hothead immediately because like she is so freaking mad right now.
Okay.
So yes, and she's gonna like go mind fire.
Yes. Okay. Mind fire works. Yeah.
It does impenetrable mind help here.
I'm gonna say no because I think that's a defensive tag, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Oh shoot, that's 3 on my expression.
Oh wow! So your expression is going to advance.
I wasn't prepared for that one. I was prepared for 2 other ones. Okay. Yeah, and I'm being shot with. So yeah, it's just a straight roll.
And you still getting -2. Yeah, this is a straight roll. You're gonna go toe to toe with your enemy, your nemesis, one might call them. Mild success. So you managed to achieve your goal. You didn't specifically have a goal, did you? Like, what was your goal? So you're gonna pick one. Is the idea here. Either you manage to achieve a goal, which is like not a story tag, but like a narrative change in the dynamic, right? Or you could put a status on them, or you can block whatever's happening. Like, just to be clear here, the toe to toe means like I'm about to hit you with the status, right?
I'm going to block whatever they're throwing at me.
Okay, so I think that like what they were throwing at you is like blindness again. They're trying to like blind you with this light, and so you're able to like put your head down, like rolling, dropping to your shoulder. We hear like bang as like this girl is like closing in with this like glimmering white radiant figure, burning like a white hot star on the scaffolding of this freaking warehouse, and you just dive down, your head like tucking into your chest as like you're rolling towards them, hammering along the distance, like closing, right? And I think we like snap cut like back to like the skyline as we see the like huge moth like wings, the red eyes. Jonathan, what are you doing? As you're now like you're closing in on this alley, I think just in the moment that like you hear this booming voice echoing out away, you hear like Lyra's like voice screaming. You could just barely make out the words, and as you kind of come over the top of the warehouse looking down, you see a dumpster with a man curled in the fetal position next to it. You see like one of the agents, Anderson, who has just put his sunglasses on and like looks up into the sky just in time to see like your silhouette coming over him, and then you see Escher like just standing in the middle, like looking everywhere as like glass shatters off the side and Lyra dives into the building. What do you want to do, Jonathan?
I think I want to land and like check in first real quick with Escher and see if they can fill me in on kind of what I've missed, what's happening right now.
Yes.
Especially if Lyra is just like dove in somewhere. It seems
Okay,
like Escher might
Brad.
be able to help.
We see like the moth wings like tuck in as you like drop down into this alley, and then like they catch the like dust swarming up all around you, and as you hit the ground in front of Escher.
Whoa, you guys are in a thick one, aren't ya? What have I missed here?
Well, I have been blinded by this light. I know that Iggy and Lyra were here, and now they seem to not be here. Do you see them anywhere?
I saw Lyra jump into the building over there, and there's somebody, and I think he bangs on the side of the dumpster. He goes, "There's somebody in here."
Iggy, as you're in the dumpster, you hear Jonathan's voice outside.
Thumping.
Hello.
Iggy, you in there, pal?
Iggy opens the lid and pops out with a banana peel on his head. Just
Yeah.
All right, the chat has figured it out. Iggy's mythos is a Muppet. That's right.
Are we all? Is everybody okay?
I'm a little
I'm
bruised.
not the scion of
One.
evil, you crazy bastard.
This is like happening up out here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not bruising to articulate it. You hear, I'm not the scion of evil. You will be banished back to the darkness eternal. You know, like echoing over the alley. Yeah.
Is this something like? Does she need our help over there? I can't tell. Like, do we get involved in this?
I tried to help. I tried to protect them. I think it kind of worked. I'm not doing so great.
I think
Yeah.
at this point, Agent Anderson, Special Agent Anderson, I should say, proceeds to like grab hold of like Lyndon's shoulder and pull him up, like, get on your fucking feet, go to the car. And he starts like dragging him down the alley, like running with him towards the end of the alley, towards the suburban.
No.
New problem.
Oh.
New problem.
Problem.
Yeah, that's what we need. More problems.
Iggy ducks back down into the dumpster, and then appears in the suburban.
Yes.
And I think like you appear in the suburban, the driver's side door is open as Agent Anderson has like jumped out and is running to Special Agent Anderson. So you're in the suburban.
He would have gotten in the backseat.
Yeah, okay, so you're like sitting in the backseat of the suburban.
Kind of like he is. There's back door. This isn't like a
Yeah.
coupe.
No, it's a suburban.
Okay. He's going to kind of like lay down in the back seat with his feet towards the door that he thinks Agent Anderson's going to open, so that when he opens it, he's going to like lash out like with his foot and kick the door open.
Okay, go for it. I think that we see Iggy like flashes to the door as like he like peers out the window and sees the silhouettes of the two figures coming. I think what you see is like Agent Anderson looking down the alley, and Special Agent Anderson like runs past him, dragging Lyndon like behind him. Lyndon's like, like a crying mess, and I think Agent Anderson like runs to the door just as you lay back. And what do you want to do?
As he goes to, I'm assuming he's opening the door to throw Lyndon in. As he goes to open the door, Iggy is going to simultaneously kick it, hopefully taking Anderson by surprise and like knocking him down.
Okay, I'm going to say you can roll a hit with all you've got, because Anderson does not expect you to be laying in the back of his car. You definitely have the advantage here. Yeah.
So I have surprise from behind.
Yeah, that works.
Physical objects.
That works, sure.
And someone's at the door.
Sure, yeah, because the timing of like exactly when he grabs the door, right?
And literally, he's at the door.
Yeah.
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 Don't you have like he's right behind you or something? Does that
That's
work?
surprise from behind.
Oh, okay.
Even though technically I'm not. It's more
You're
the
in front?
surprise element of it is why I was.
I don't know if you want to hit these on your expression power tag, but the first one there is like seems very appropriate. Like you could enunciate what you're trying to do by using that.
Oh.
Okay.
I was like gourmet cooking, but no, I know. And then I guess because it's like a matter of timing, perfectionist weakness tag.
I mean, if you want to call on it, I don't think we need to. I would say almost performance anxiety fits better as like this is a real moment of pressure. But if you think the perfectionist is appropriate,
And the performance anxiety is more like if he's being watched while doing something, though.
Yep.
He's not.
Yep, I
So
hear
I guess, no, I guess that's just those three. So this is
okay. You have those three, and then you have a status of bruised one, right? So we're subtracting one for that.
Oh crap! I hit reset and it cleared everything. Physical
Oops,
object.
sorry.
Someone's at the door. Surprise from behind. -1 because I'm bruised. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay. Hit with all you've got, you said?
Yep, I think so.
Come on, Iggy.
Boom.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you give the target an appropriate status of your choice with tier equal to power. Choose one more. So you can put a status on Special Agent Anderson and then choose another thing off this list.
He's staggered 2.
Okay, got it. As the door like smashes open into him and he's like staggered back.
In terms of like the taking cover or securing a superior position, would that include like me? Well, he's like me taking Lyndon and running behind the car.
Yeah, absolutely it would. This is like again, like to like
Nice.
break from the D&D terms. There's a lot of like time that could happen here, right? So we see Iggy's like feet snap, cracking into the door that hurtles back, and I think it like catches him right in the nose, right? As like his glasses shatter, right? It's that like shot of like the mirror shades like breaking as they fall away from his face, and he like recoils back, grabbing his nose, like blood filling in his hand, as Iggy like just darts out of the car, grabbing Lyndon and like rolling around to the other side. Right? Does that cover you? Feel okay? Cool. So then with that, yeah, Lyra, you've like come up out of your role. You're like standing face to face with this figure, like just gleaming white. I don't think you can see like the details around them except like flowing hair, flowing clothes, lots of white light. What do you want to do?
You're muted, Taylor.
I am muted. Ha.
You were muted. That's fine. You're like, you
It's
don't want
okay.
us to
I was
hear
just
what's
freaking
about
out.
to
It
happen.
wasn't anything. I will say for my improvement on expression, quickly, I'm choosing Mythos Mastery. So when I hit with all I've got with my expression, I always get to control the collateral damage.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
That's actually very powerful for Lyra in particular, Yep. Yeah, the improvements are very cool, you guys. This is a very fun game. Okay, cool. Mythos Mastery. I dig it.
Okay. So right. So they were gonna hit me with something. Right?
Yeah,
But
I think that like they swing out with this like staff that they're holding in their hand, trying to like knock you off the scaffolding, but you manage to like roll underneath it and avoid being blinded by the light. Yeah.
Okay. Geez. They're like just being really aggressive, right?
Yeah, very aggressive. I mean, they
Really
just like
sounds
nuked
good.
your friends with a freaking,
Yeah, it's
Nova
really
beam.
scheming. They're really okay. Then yeah, I mean, I guess she's gonna kind of go full on like mind fire. Like she's gonna like do the like reaching out her hand like she did,
Uh-huh.
earlier in the night,
Uh-huh.
and just try and like, get them to stop like doing whatever they're doing.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't really know what that would be. Is it still just go toe to toe?
So in this situation, like go toe to toe pretty much covers all the fighting. Just to like talk through it again, we could do like a series of linked moves here, right? If there was a thing where you wanted to try to change the game to give yourself juice to use to go toe to toe, you can do those things. And it's not like an order of operations where like I go after you do. You
Mhm.
get to like keep going. Like the risk comes with making the roll. As soon as you roll the dice, you could roll bad, and I'm gonna make something horrible happen.
Yep.
So in other words, like if you want to layer, you can. The catch here is if you were to do like change the game into go toe to toe, the tags you pull for change the game can't be pulled for the second half because they're like this one kind of connected action,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So fundamentally, if you're just trying to like, subdue him with mind fire, you're going toe to toe, right?
Yeah.
You two are like locked in battle.
So here's also a question. Like, what
Mhm.
if Lyra wanted to like, uh, speaking in D&D terms for a
Yeah,
second,
no, this is a
bonus
great.
action hide. You know what I mean? Like before she strikes.
Well, to
Um,
that same end, you could use sneak around,
Okay.
right? You could make a sneak around roll that's tethered into a go toe to toe. Like if you succeed at the sneak around successfully enough, you might be able to hit with all you've got.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And like again, it's the scenario where like by making the roll, you're putting yourself at risk, right? Every time you like put the dice to the table, there's real like danger of repercussions. So if you want to try to like, sneak around, so in order to be in a position that he loses track of you and you can hit with all you've got, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay, so what does it look like as you like come up from the roll like right in front of him, and I think he swings the staff out
Yeah.
as you like weave out of the way.
So I think they're on a catwalk, right?
Yeah, you two are standing on like this classic metal catwalk in this like big wrecked out warehouse, the ground like 20 feet beneath you, old machinery and stuff, right?
Perfect. Okay, so I think that he like swings the staff and she goes like incorporeal and like falls through the catwalk
Yeah.
and like catches herself like on the bottom of it
Mm-hmm.
and like just
Okay,
disappears.
sick.
All right. So yeah, invisibility,
And this will be the
incorporeal.
same thing, like what you use here,
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to use for the next thing. Yep.
Yeah.
And again, just to the rest of you guys, even though you were just standing in the alley, like as Taylor's putting together her powers here, if you want to help, if you want to like do a thing to like help her here, you can.
I think I do want to do that. I think I want to try. I feel like, correct me, but it feels like if I wanted to come in and cause like a big distraction, like especially like with my wings and some moth dust, it feels like a change the game move, like to try to give him a tag of like distracted, or what would be.
For sure.
Because I want to get his attention so that like Lyra
That's
can
awesome.
like be more sneaky.
Okay,
Catch
so
him
there's
off guard.
two separate things here, just to like pause you for a second, Taylor. You could, Sheldon, change the game. You can like step in here and be like, actually, I want to change the game for her sneak around to set her up to hit with all she's got, right?
Yeah.
But again, like as soon as you roll, you put yourself at risk. The easy way to do it is be like, I want to burn a help point and be like, boom, and just give her a status of whatever, or put a status on, it would be on her, right? But you could do that. You could do either of those things. So you want to change the game?
Let me check and see. I might not have a help point. No, I do have one with Lyra. Okay.
The idea here is like I don't want to try to like subvert you, right? But the distinction between the two choices is like as soon as you roll, you're at risk, right? And by just the help is like a thing you could just do for free to like help her. If it's you like flying up in that moment, distracting him, boom.
Yeah.
Lyra's got an advantage, right?
I think that makes sense. So then it's not like physically entering kind of the combat area. It's more in the distance. So yeah, I think I'm going to offer a help point, and the being in white in there sees me kind of flying in one of the windows.
Yeah, it's sick as Jonathan like vaults into the air, the wings like whoo, dust falling around as you like surge up next to the window and start entering the building. So Lyra, you're still trying to sneak around.
Yes.
And now you've got a gosh, like, a status of like moth dust 1 that you get to add to all of this, right?
I love it. Okay. Great.
Fairy moth brother.
Oh.
I was reaching for that one. I was reaching.
I love it though. That's great. So my heart is beating so fast. I guess probably stealthy. Probably use nimble
For sneak around, yeah.
this. Yeah, probably right. Also,
I think on this one you have to use insubstantial because you're dropping through the rails, right? So I think stealthy and substantial.
Could I? So if I didn't use invisibility, could I use it for the next
to attack
thing? Okay,
afterwards?
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna save that one then.
Yep, good call. This is great. Now we're getting into like kind of deep mechanics in a sense, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, invisible and incorporeal are not the same thing, so that's
No.
really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really think anything from Indomitable works at the moment. Unless I guess you wanted to read his mind, or detect his thoughts. But I mean, I guess let's just go for this at the moment. Do I still have the blinding radiance if I'm not in it anymore?
Good question. I'll say no. Like, we can say no, not for this moment. I guess we would have to kind of like burn it out. I think you do. Yeah, I think you do. Because I think it's like a story tag that's applying to the whole scene. And until we do something to affect that tag, to change that, right? Like, once you hit with all you've got, you could burn it. You could just be like, but I think it's still there for now. So, because you don't have any statuses. It's just the radiance.
Okay.
So you're rolling with incorporeal, stealthy, nimble, and meanwhile you've got moth dust of 1 that's bringing you up to a 4, but then a -2 from burning radiance. Go for it. Sneak around.
Here we go.
Yeah! Everyone that should falls for it. So we see Lyra like as Jonathan's like fluttering in front of the window, the dust kind of like falling in, and this like, we've all seen dust in the bright light streaming through the window, right? He like turns, right, and is like, like completely like focused on this visage outside, and he's like, "What dread beast is this which flies in the darkness of the night?" So with that, does anybody else want to do anything before Lyra just tries to smoke this dude?
She's incorporeal in another place. I don't think there's anything I can do to
You can see
help.
across space and time, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess
as much,
but mechanically I'm out of help points, and I've been rolling terribly, so I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna mind my own business.
Poor Asher is just like, fucking can't see, I'm a filmmaker, this better go away. Okay. Jonathan, let me just check in with you.
I feel like Lyra's got a lot of it handled. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna step back and wait
That's
and see.
cool.
Like, is
It's
this
more me.
thing where?
Yep, it's more me like checking in with you because you've been like on the fringe of this, Sheldon. I just want to like double check. And so meanwhile, Iggy, like you've got Lyndon behind the Suburban outside. What's happening there? Do we need to check in on that?
Muted, Kurt.
You're muted, Kurt.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. Well, Lyra, let's see you wreck your enemy.
Great.
dreadful opponent.
No. No. Oh gosh. Okay. So let me. So yeah. So if it's a linked roll,
hmm
does Jonathan's help point wear off?
That's a great point. Jonathan used his help as juice to give you a status. I'm going to let you keep it, right? We can keep it for this. I think that like it's counteracting the burning radiance in a sense, right? So it's only like a -1 point of that as he's like distracted.
Right. So yeah, I'll use invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I think that she's yeah, I think that he's like pointing in the one direction,
Mm-hmm.
like with the light. So I think she drops down the catwalk, like grabs the bars and then like moves like
Mhm.
past him, comes back up like through the catwalk, like gets herself up. And it's probably really terrifying to see like this ghostly image of this girl like climbing out of the catwalk with like just darkness and anger in her face as she like stands behind him and like reaches her hand out.
Oh,
Like,
hell
for
yeah.
his-
Big like
I
the
think
ring.
it's-
The ring.
Yeah,
vibe.
really. Like,
That
big
other
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Big ring.
I think it's like horrifically cinematic, right? As Lyra is like this negative image amidst like this radiant light, right? We have this silhouette of like this flowing figure, just gleaming white starlight, and then the like outlined radiance of like this shimmering like darkness, like surging up from behind as it's there, like looking out the window, like, yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, oh yeah, and I saved like acrobat for this, so I guess she'll like,
Yes.
she's singing for this. She's doing fancy stuff for this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Invisibility, acrobat, aura of terrible power.
mind fire.
Mhm.
I mean that's probably it.
Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 plus moth dust brings you to 5 -2 for the burning radiance. So you're rolling with the 3 power to hit with all you've got. Go for it, Lyra. Yeah. Okay, so you give the target an appropriate status of your choice with a tier equal to 3. So what's the status you inflict here?
Okay. Maybe it's like, I don't know, like what was the what did we give to the other guy?
Staggered?
No, it was like it could be just staggered,
Which
but
Yeah.
Other guy.
It
like
was like burned out or
burnt,
something.
yeah, like burnt like mind or something like that. But yeah, I think it's focusing on the fact that like he's just like nearly incapacitated.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got? Adjectives. Yeah, it's tricky.
Oh,
Like I could start
adjectives.
throwing some stuff. So we got like what is it about? Like as you hit him with this mind fire, is it really that you like black out his mind?
Pretty much, like she wants like shut him down, like just not kill him. No,
Let's call it
not
let's
that.
call
Does he
it
black out?
no, he's not gonna black out entirely, but let's call it blacking out.
Oh,
As,
okay. Excuse me.
yeah, he's en route. He's en route to being blacked out. Let's call it a status of blacking out 3.
Okay.
Blacking out.
Blacking out.
I just
I
wanted to say
immediately
that.
control the collateral damage.
Yes, you do immediately control the collateral damage. Yeah.
So yeah, just obviously it is contained to this one singular person.
And then
I
you
knew
have
my
2
friend.
of these other things that you
Yeah.
also get to pick. So you
Um,
could like up the status of the tier. Like
Yeah.
you could incapacitate him if you want. If you want to give him a tier 5 status here.
yeah.
Or you like so there's a few distinctions, right? You could like call it a status of 4 where you're gonna get them good, and then you could also like take a superior position so they can't hit you back, right? In other words, like kind of neutralizing what's happening here for a moment.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's what she wants to do. Yeah. definitely. I think she needs a moment on some words with this person.
Okay. Okay. So I think that you see it from your perspective, Jonathan. You're the only one as you're like, whoo, whoo, like in front of this window, and this figure is like glaring out at you, like holding the staff up defensively, when suddenly like this black aura just like looms up over him, and I think they start to turn and are like, "Ugh," and the staff like falls from their hand, and I think the light winks out, and they stagger back and like fall out of your line of sight on the catwalk, Sheldon. And I think like you have to like fly up a little bit higher as you like the camera's like trailing with you as we get the perspective down in through the window of like this figure just like sprawled out on their back on this catwalk with Lyra like towering over them, you know, like kind of radiating. And I think that the voice Lyra just like says back to you like, look what terror you bring. We all are doomed. Doomed.
Oh my gosh. What am I? What have I become?
I think
Okay.
Escher hears all this, and it's gonna like stagger in the direction of this window, and like not make it any further than that. I don't think, but I think that's close enough to like see what's happening and get a sense of what's going on.
Okay.
But they're gonna stay where they are.
And I just want to gut check with Jonathan as you're like in the alleyway. What do you want to do here?
Oh, you mean Iggy in the alley?
Oh no, you. I mean
Oh, yes,
floating, like as you're flying by the window. Yeah.
I think Jonathan's waiting to see like if Lyra is going to like end him, he's gonna stop her. But up until then, it seems like this is a very personal
moment.
Yeah. But I think he is watching for that moment. If she's gonna strike, he's gonna try to kind of tackle her away.
Okay, awesome. So
yeah.
you're just like kind of
Just
bearing
hovering.
witness, preparing to intercede as you hover in the alley. And I think as the camera like trails past Iggy, the dust like falling around them, Escher beneath, like holding onto the fire escape, head tilted up, listening to the conversation. We see the Suburban at the end of the alley, and Special Agent Johnson's like pulls his hands off his Anderson pulls his hands off his face, his hands filled with blood. Their names are going to be so changed by next. I think Anderson, like, that's the actual
Been
secret.
reassigned.
Yeah. Like, we got rid of the Andersons. This is Special Agent Johnson and Agent Johnson. I think we see, like, Special Agent Anderson pull his hands away, like, they're just filled with blood. And he's like, what the fuck? And Agent Anderson, like, wheeling around, like, where the fuck did they go? Hey! Iggy, you're on the, like, far side of the Suburban with Lyndon. And he's like, where are we going? I don't want to die in jail.
Iggy just is like, shh.
He's so comforting.
What are you doing, Iggy? What are you going to do?
Just going, shh, hoping that the Agent Anderson doesn't know where we went.
Okay. They're starting to like move, I think that like Agent Anderson is like, what happened to you? And we hear Special Agent Anderson like, someone fucking hiding in the car, you asshole. How did you miss that? What the fuck is happening here? Did you call for backup? And I think you hear Agent Anderson like, chopper is on the way. It's gonna be like fucking Nam, man. And
Oh no.
Special Agent Anderson is like, I say we torch this whole fucking building. I'm sick of these people, you know? That's like,
Oh.
I think
my
Agent
goodness.
Anderson is just like, we need to fucking get rid of Perez. I'm tired of being on the leash. You know, you're hearing all of this from the other side of the car.
Iggy will. Okay. We're in an alley.
Yep.
There's a Suburban in the middle of the alley.
No, this is an important no. Like the alley comes to the street, right? And I want you to imagine the Suburban like parked on the street at the end of the alleyway, right? So you and Lyndon technically are like crouched on the side of the street, like in the street. And Anderson and Anderson are on the sidewalk in between the car and the alley. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iggy is going to tell Lyndon, when I give you the signal, just run and get out of here. And
Thank you.
Iggy is going to kind of peek around the car and look down the alley at the dumpster that he was just in.
Mhm.
And he is going to bring it to life.
Yes!
Okay, what does that look like, Iggy?
Well, it's the only thing he's really ever done before was bring dumpsters to life, if I remember correctly. Strangely, it is. Oh, screw it! We're gonna do a flashback
Oh yeah.
to
Yes.
before the gala. On his way to the gala, Iggy stops at a convenience store and buys a pack of batteries.
Okay, excellent. So you have a story tag of batteries one.
Okay. So as he's looking at the dumpster, he fumbles around in his pocket and pops one of the batteries in his mouth.
I think Lyndon next to him is like watching, like, what the fuck? It's like, what kind of
And
battery? Just out of curiosity sake.
double
Is
A,
it like okay.
but not like a car battery. That would be stupid.
No, I got it. I just
Um,
thought it maybe a 9 volt, D battery. But so yeah, you pop.
he is going to call on the story tags of animating the inanimate,
Uh-huh.
physical objects,
Uh-huh.
electricity.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's trying to distract and like weird out the agents. Can he call on I can't look away?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so here's the question: what's the goal? What are you trying to do here?
I'm
Let's
trying
figure
to
out what move
distract
it is.
I'm trying to bring the dumpster to life so as it moves around and flaps its lids or whatever it decides to do, because I'm not trying to control it,
Got
because
it.
that would be a weakness tag.
Uh-huh.
That it will distract them enough that Lyndon can get out of there.
Okay, cool. So you're basically making a change the game move, and I think that yeah, okay. So you've got attention to detail. Or no, wait, sorry, that one's burned out. Yep, you've got animating the animate. You can't look away. Physical objects, electricity, plus the story battery tag. That brings you to a power of 5. There are no conditions. Or you're bruised. You have a -1 because you're still bruised.
This is a
Any
flashback, though. Oh no, we're out
No,
of
the
the flashback
flashback
now.
was
Got
him
it, got it,
getting
got
the
it, got it.
batteries to
Yes.
give him like the status. So the question is, any weaknesses? Like, I don't think so. It's not performance anxiety, right?
I don't think I get the plus. The battery is just so that he can activate his electricity tag. It doesn't give him a separate +1.
It does, yeah. It's a juice. Like you're spending juice to
Part of
give
the
yourself a story tag.
project.
In other words, like as the flashback, you get a point of juice, and you're using that juice to create a story tag of battery 1, right? So I
Right.
get that, like you're enabling it, but like there's electricity everywhere, right? There's street lights, there's electricity in the car. Like
Uh,
the battery is like the battery in your mouth is giving you an extra +1 to the roll.
oh,
I'm just talking through like mechanics here, right? Like,
okay.
you know.
Okay. So what do we say this has changed the game?
Mm-hmm. 7. Brutal. Brutal. That's a mild success. You still have 4 power. So what are you trying to do here?
Creating a story tag of animated dumpster.
Perfect. Yup. That seems highly appropriate.
Oh my goodness.
So do I get to spread 4 across these options?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. You have, in
I
other words,
guess
4 points to like buy options here or whatever. Yep.
burn a power tag or a story tag. That doesn't give or reduce.
So, like, in other words, they have tags. Like, you could
Yeah.
burn their power tags if you
Yeah.
wanted, technically. Excuse me.
Oh, oh, burning. But I don't know what their power tags are.
No, true. That's true.
So I guess I would. Here's what I will do. Story tag 2 of animated dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, plus one status to each of them of weirded out.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I doing my maths right?
Yeah, you sure? That's only 3, though.
No, it's 4. It's 2
Okay.
to the dumpster.
Oh,
Power
okay.
4, 2 to the dumpster, 1 to each of the Andersons.
Got it.
1
So,
plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
plus 1.
Yeah.
Blinded by the light. What does it look like as the dumpster animates and comes like storming down the alley, distracting them?
I mean, it's on wheels, I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because I don't have control over it. It's rolling haphazardly around, and because the only other real moving part on it is the lids. The lids are kind of flapping wildly as well, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You've awakened something.
Yeah, and I think that the Andersons...
It's alive.
Yeah.
It's alive.
It's alive.
Iggy mutters to himself.
Aww.
And I think Special Agent Anderson bleeding out of his nose is like, what the fuck is going on, man?
And then the moment he says that, Iggy looks at Lyndon and says, go.
And Lyndon darts straight across the street, keeping the Suburban between him and these 2 agents on the sidewalk, staying low to the ground. You watch as he vanishes into the darkness of an alley across the street.
No, not down the alley, Lyndon.
The dumpster, like, clang, 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 as the lid is, like, flapping, and it's, like, rolling. Escher, I think, like, you hear the cacophony of this dumpster, like, rolling around, lid slamming. Jonathan, like, hovers in the alleyway in front of the open window and the camera over his shoulder as we see Lyra towering over this figure on the catwalk. Lyra?
Yep. I think Lyra, like, she's holding out her hand, so I think she like puts her hand down and the anger kind of like still very much so prevalent, but she like kind of like takes a deep breath. Why? Listen. Look at me. I'm not what you think I am. I know that I'm fighting something bad, but like I'm not hurting anybody.
I think that you see this figure, like they're looking and they like blink and suddenly like they grab their head, like, and I think they just mumble to themselves like, must not let the darkness swallow us. And I think they look up at you blinking and you see their face for the first time. And I think what you're looking at is this very like short, kind of small old man with this like wrinkled face and no beard. I think he has like these bright blue eyes, this like old pale skinned fellow looking at you, his jowls kind of like hanging low. He's not wearing like glimmering white robes. The light has like diminished around them. He actually seems in kind of like ratty, worn, bedraggled clothing. There's like a puffy kind of winter coat with down like sticking out of like some holes in it. You see like dirt and grime on their hands and on their face as they like look up at you and are like, where are we? What are we? How did I get here?
I think
What's
Lyra
happening?
she like helps him up. Like
Mm-hmm. And as we see like the aura of terrible power around Lyra like shrink, and this young woman, her blue hair, her pudding stained LBD tattered around her, awkwardly like walking. You still have your heels on, or you're barefoot at this point?
no,
You're like,
she lost those at
her
some
bare
point
feet.
while she was like climbing up, probably.
Yep, the bare feet on like the corrugated metal of the catwalk beneath you. You lean down and like he's just like, you remind me of my niece. I'm sorry. Do I know you? Where are we? I get lost
We're
sometimes.
it's okay. We're in. I mean, you probably go back home, but
Home?
we need. Yeah. Right. We need to like have a conversation, but we should probably go somewhere else. I'm Lyra.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't remember my name. I don't remember anything.
I'm gonna call you G, if that's okay.
Okay.
But let's get some of my friends are outside.
Okay. You like help him pull him up to his feet. He's just like looking around like, oh. He's like stares at Jonathan flying in the alley for a moment. And I think he just like looks at him like, oh. And then he turns, like looking back to you, focusing all his energy on you, like, let's go find your friends.
Yep.
Okay.
Please don't kill me.
And so I think at this point, Asher, you're like blinking in the alley and like stars, like everything's kind of coming back into focus. You look up. Is it snowing? That's not snow. That's Jonathan. Yeah.
Look out for the
Like,
dumpster.
is their vision that messed up?
Yeah, you do like turn looking down the alley. The dumpster is like rolling around, bouncing
Oh my
off the edges
God.
of the alley. The
Poor
lid like
Escher.
dang, dang,
What is
dang,
going
dang,
on?
clang, clang. You
I
hear
forgot Esther
Agent.
was there. Oops.
Yep, you hear the Agent Sanderson on the other side, like, this is fucking crazy, man. You know, and I think Agent Anderson is like, get in the car, we need to get out of here. Like, this is too weird, man.
Yeah, there's a lot happening, and they're like just totally bewildered by moving objects that shouldn't be moving, and people flying, and loud noises and screaming coming from all directions, all voices coming from all over the place. It's a lot. I don't. I think they're not sure what to do.
Okay.
And they're hoping their friends are just gonna like come back.
Okay. Meanwhile, Iggy, like you hear as you're like peering down underneath the car, you see the Agent Sandersons, like darting back to it.
Is the one that's coming to the passenger side? Are they coming to around the front or the back of the car?
They're coming to like the passenger side. You're on the driver's side, right?
Oh, is the one that's coming to the driver's side coming around the front or the back
front.
of the car?
He's coming around the
then
front.
Iggy's going to go around the back of the car.
Okay, and so we see like the camera like lifting up as we see like Special Agent Anderson like jumps into the shotgun seat, the like blood kind of streaming down his face. Agent Anderson circling around the front, like steps into the open driver's seat. The car fires up.
If the white reverse lights come up, Iggy is going to vanish.
Yeah, I think that we see the like the reverse lights come on. Iggy like bathed in this white light is like the car like backs away as Iggy just vanishes.
It appears, I guess, in the dumpster.
The moving dumpster?
Yes.
It's a roller coaster.
Jonathan, as you like look down when you hear the
Dumpster
car
surfing.
start, you see the car like back out of the way and then like does like a big 180 in the street, right? Smoke rolling up out from under the tires, right? And like you look down at the dumpster like dang, 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 and suddenly like Iggy is in it, you know, and he like ducks as the lid like smashes down closed.
This wasn't a good idea.
Lyra, like you escort the old man down the like rickety steps, you know, you like find yourself on the floor of this warehouse and I think he's just like, I have no idea where we are. Are you sure you don't know me?
I I know you to some extent.
I'm very confused.
I am
can't remember
too.
anything.
We what is that smashing? Do you hear that?
Yes, it's very loud.
Terrible. Can you actually no, I'm not gonna leave you alone anywhere. Can you um listen, there's a lot to talk about and explain and I don't really know. I don't really know how to explain it all right now. But we do know each other and you don't like me.
That seems ridiculous. I
Yeah,
I don't even know you.
yeah,
I'd remember a young lady like you. That hair, it's very distinctive.
thanks. It's kind of fading now, but you know, happens. Uh but anyway, we're not supposed to like each other, but you know, screw that.
I don't know who told you that, but it seems to me like I've got a bit of a blank slate. I think he starts like patting his pockets actually, and like he like takes out this piece of paper like unfolds it, and
I
he like hands it to you like shrugging a little bit, and it's a receipt to a diner that I think you identify is like very close to where everything went down. Or it's right across the street from like the museum. Actually, it's like just a kind of block away. It would have been very close to where everything went down the night before.
okay.
Maybe I live somewhere near there.
It's possible. Listen, we're gonna figure this out, but yeah, my friends are out here and I don't know what's going on, but
Okay.
just you know, maybe just stay back for a second.
Okay. And so I think you go to like a side door that you know is going to open into the alley, and you're able to kind of like push it open. It's got one of those kind of like, school doors, sort of like ka-chunk.
Like emergency bar
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Mhm. And as you're like ka-chunk and you push the door open, I think like the door just opens like bang, 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 bang. And, like you probably like see Iggy.
Iggy's not getting anywhere near the lid. He's laying down.
Okay, in the
He's
garbage.
How-
accepted his fate.
Since this isn't permanent, how long before it?
You tell me, Iggy. It's your animated dumpster.
Oh, I'd love it for it to stop right now, please.
And so I think that
You
like
just
as
take the
Lyra's
battery
like,
out of your mouth? Does that
Yeah.
solve the problem?
I don't think. No, this is like you take the battery out, it still goes.
Oh no.
I do think as Lyra like throws the door open and like is jolted back with like the banging, right? The dumpster is like bang as the lid kind of like goes to the full arc and holds for a second and then just falls around backwards, and it just sits there like shuddering for a minute. Stopped.
Iggy stands up and
Banana peel like falls off his shoulder. You know what I
got
mean?
another banana peel, and he like. I swallowed the battery.
Ow.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, so
Um,
sad.
Question: Did the receipt have his name on it?
No.
No.
No. It was a cup of soup, club sandwich,
Cup soup.
and a coffee. Paid cash.
Paid cash, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think Lyra like, like blinks and like shakes her head a little bit and is like, "All right, I think it's okay to go out." She like keeps leading him, like out the door.
And so you see Lyra come out of the warehouse, and there's this little old man with him, like very kind of grimy, these worn clothes, whatever.
Hey guys.
I think he just kind of like, hello.
This is we're calling him G.
And then Jonathan lands gently and just like immediately shoves his arm in his face, like, Jonathan Kiwi, how you doing, G?
Nice to meet you, young man. He just like shakes your hand, completely unfazed by the fact that you just like flew down and landed in front of him. Like that's as though you just like walked up next to him and he's like, hello. I think Jonathan, as he shakes your hand, I think you realize that he's got a bracelet on, but not like a jewelry bracelet. It's like a vinyl bracelet, right? Like somebody might have in like a hospital or an institution or a concert or something like that.
Gotcha.
2 of those are more likely than the third.
Yeah.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Or a concert.
Or a concert.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
I thought for a moment there that the piece of paper you found was like a note from like his caretakers or something. But.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that like Jonathan, like you noticed the bracelet because like you have a similar bracelet, right? I think it's like your hospital.
I think he does point it out, and he's like, "Hey, I've been in the hospital too."
He's like, huh? And he like looks.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Iggy says, "I think they called in helicopters. We may want to get out of here."
Oh yeah, let's go.
No. Escher
by the way,
is like slumped.
Escher and Iggy.
Hello.
I think Escher's like slumped on the ground, like up against the wall under the window, probably sitting in glass, with like you know their knees up and like their head in their hands, and they're just like, "Hey, is everybody okay? Did you say helicopters? They're gonna be so loud."
Yeah. Let's who's closest?
To
Anywhere
like whose place is
that we
closest,
live.
like
to
somewhere safe.
Escher or to like a location.
The library's not far.
Who said
actually,
that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
I don't know.
I think Escher will be
yeah,
like, "We're
okay,
not far
library.
from the library."
Yeah, we have the key, don't we?
I got the key.
We got
Yeah.
the key. Let's go.
Oh, one
Library.
question though. Where's Lyndon? Like, whenever I got here, he was here, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I distracted the Andersons and told Lyndon to take off running.
Okay, great. We'll catch up with him later. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's get out of here.
I think as the lot of you like start walking away, the camera kind of lifting and like panning away from the group of you as you walk, we see the old man like looking down, kind of like moving the bracelet, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like you do know me. I think I know where home is now."
What you got? Can I see?
And I think he just like extends his hand out, and you look down, and it's like got a name on it. It says Gerard Whitaker.
Gerard.
Yeah, I think it says Gerard Whitaker. And I think that there's like a small thing that says on there, Gerard is a resident of Starlight Hills retirement home, if found.
Please return.
Please return. If placed in mailbox, will be returned to retirement home free of charge.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
It would say retirement community, probably not home, but yeah.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Great.
Library, though, huh?
Yeah,
I
we'll
haven't
stop
been
there.
in one of those in ages.
Like a month.
Yes, we took a field trip.
You a fan of the Lord of the Rings?
No, I'm not sure I've ever heard of that.
Interesting.
Is that one of those board games? They always try to get me to play board games. I'm more of a baseball fellow myself. It's coming back bits and pieces. Oh, I'm hungry.
I'm sure there's a hot dog stand out there somewhere.
And I think he like looks at Iggy like, "Oh, young man, you're covered in garbage," you know. I think like the scene fades to black, and we open back up as like, you guys tell me, where are we? Like, where do we come back to the scene? Like, as you all are walking away, the scene fading to black, we hear the like of the helicopter, the like sweeping searchlight, you know.
Born in the
live,
USA
you-
starts playing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we're
So
just
do
gonna
we
go
open
right to the
back up with you
library,
guys in
right?
the library with old Gerard? Do you bring like is Gerard
Yeah.
with you?
I think
Oh,
yeah.
so it is. Yeah.
What time is it, Rich?
It's probably like 5:30 in the morning, right? I think that the scene comes back in of like the five of you on the back stoop of the library, like unlocking the back door, and like letting yourselves in, right?
Rich, tell me something.
I will
Tell
if I
me
can.
something. Master of ceremonies. Was GW a choice?
Oh, it's Gerard Whitaker. I don't
Rather
know what
than
you're
like
talking about.
G.
I don't know what you mean. It's Gerard
Even I'm
Whitaker.
picking up what's being put down.
Oh my goodness. This is fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Is Zelda there?
Oh,
I think-
love
Library?
Zelda.
I think as you guys come like striding in, there's nobody else there yet. 6 in the morning is pretty early for librarians.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Do we hear choppers?
You heard them in the blue collar district as you all were leaving. You know, you heard the chopper come like flying over the warehouse as you all were like just a couple of blocks away, right?
They're like in upstairs or like meeting
Yeah.
rooms or something.
Yeah, there's
We
conference
have a
rooms.
room.
Study
Yeah.
rooms, yeah.
True. Yeah, we definitely have a room.
There's definitely like an upstairs, you know, there's places that you guys could get like a little more out of public view. The library is like officially like your base of operations. It's one of your tags, right? So
Yeah.
like you have kind of autonomy there.
Yeah.
When no one notices, but Iggy goes home and starts gathering some like fruit and like
Aw.
some cheese and like some just snackable items, and
Got it.
and then just returns to the library with them. And then
Got it. I love the scene of like I could
That's
see it of
adorable.
like the five of you walking in and Iggy kind of trailing at the back, and then like as you come around the corner, Iggy's just gone.
Mhm.
You're all like heading up the stairs, and you all kind of like head into one of like the conference rooms up there, like closing the door. I think it's a really old building, right? So it's much less of that like kind of like fluorescent lighting, like sterile kind of like, you know, industrial hospital windows kind of vibe. I want you to imagine almost like the big, almost like old depression glass windows as you head into this room, and it's a lot of like old furniture that's a bit mismatched, right? A big old kind of like clawfoot mahogany kind of table in the center of the room, these shelves around, and these old windows, like light kind of just streaming through from the east as the dawn approaches. And I think Gerard's like, I always loved sunrise. And like Iggy
Mhm.
like appears in the door suddenly again with this armful of food.
'cause it's been a long night, and it's been like 6-7 hours since we've had cocktail wieners, so it's
Yeah.
and
Hungry, tired.
and pudding.
Oh,
Very
speaking of
thoughtful.
a long night, I think our buddy Nick's going to be in for quite a long one. At the hospital, there's stuff with his family. You know, passed along well wishes and everything, but it might just be us for a little bit.
Oh man. Well, I hope everything turns out okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But somebody else visited me in the hospital too.
Oh.
A certain rich fancy pants club owner.
Oh no, not this guy.
I mean, I'm just saying this. Look, he's coming for me in the hospital, wanting to have a conversation, trying to recruit me or some nonsense.
Uh-huh.
But I'm thinking if he is going out of his way to visit somebody like me in the hospital, he's desperate. I think this guy may not be as powerful as he's leading everyone to believe, you know? Like, coming down like that, I feel like we're getting close to something. Like, we're stepping in an area he's trying to get us off. And I just kind of, I politely passed him along, got his number, told him I'd hit him back up, but we got him where we want him. I don't know where it is, but it's in a good spot.
Did he eat my pudding?
What?
He did eat some pudding. Yes, I did not. I did not know it was yours. Whenever you left, I thought it became my pudding.
Do you have any?
Do you need to go back to the hospital?
He just kind of nonchalantly pushes like an apple towards Lyra.
She just starts eating it like without even thinking.
She just lives on like hot dogs and pudding normally.
Yeah.
So, I can take. What was his name again?
Gerard.
Gregory? Garrett? Gerard?
Gerard.
Definitely
Gregory.
a G.
Gerard.
Definitely G.
Gerard.
Iggy, I can take Gerard back to Starlight Express.
Starry Hills?
Starlight Hills, yeah.
Unless you want to.
That's very thoughtful of you, young man.
Gerard, you don't. Is there anything coming back? You don't remember anything?
I remember being here. I remember some of the others. Starlight Hills, yes. Yes,
The others?
Oh
My
no.
daughter put me there before she died. I mean, the other residents there. There's a few other fellows my age.
Retirement
Is
community.
Is there also,
there
is there
five
also
of
a
you?
ship?
Is it a group of 5?
Hmm.
You color coordinated?
Oh, no.
No, of course not. Sorry.
Most of them are fools, but I remember
Are they small?
a few.
Got a pair of twins, brothers, by any chance?
No, I had no brothers. I was an only child. Just had my one daughter, and she died. It was an
Sorry.
unfortunate thing.
Yeah, I'd like to take you back there.
Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't found me out there. Sometimes I get a little addled. It's
Gee.
hard to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Don't get old, girl. Don't get old.
That's the plan.
That's what they always say.
Relations going.
Yep. I'll do my best.
Go fast, Diane.
Well, listen, you guys, honestly, do you guys want to, I want to go talk to these people maybe for a second. I don't know if
These
you guys want.
Jonathan,
Those-
I really think you should go back to the hospital.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, but can I have my phone back?
Oh,
I don't know why. This is like, I've grown to really miss the thing. Like, I want to text
Iggy will. I completely forgot that I had it. I'm sorry. And he hands the phone back.
And I think Gerard is like, oh, that's a very old phone.
reliable.
Reliable.
I understand that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Gerard, like I'll take you back. I don't know if you guys want to just go. I can meet you at the hospital. Whatever you guys want to do.
Kind of want to sleep and
Yeah, I
like
would also like to sleep.
work.
Yeah, we do have those jobs, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
Do you all work
guys-
here together, or are you some type of book club?
we're buddies.
buddies.
It's good to have buddies.
Who's?
When I was young, I had a good group.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got. I can check in on Lyndon. I've got his number.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably. But
Yeah,
he's.
Lyndon
I'll
and
give him-
Anastasia both.
I will text Lyndon saying, "You okay?"
Okay. Just to like
You
pause
up?
in here with you all as like players, right? So we have this beat of like you all in the hospital, the sun rising, Iggy's brought breakfast. It's mostly healthy. Lyra's eating an apple. Gerard's got clever, witty comments for an old senile man. It's clear he's been wandering around lost for some good deal of time as he's covered in filth and his coat's a little messed up. But so I'm gonna say to you here, like, unless like there's more of this scene that you all want to play out with each other, certainly. I think we shift into like a montage potentially where like you all like tell me kind of what you want to follow up on in the immediate kind of aftermath of all of this, you know. So yeah, I guess like it probably makes sense, Lyra. Like you're gonna take the old man back to the retirement home. Is anybody going with her?
I think that she would probably want to go alone, but she.
That's the sense I got.
Okay. Okay, so like the scene opens, Lyra, is like you're standing in front of like this tall kind of building, these like hedges out in front of it, and Gerard's like standing next to you, much like smaller even than you, as you're not like a big person or anything, but I think he's like it's coming back to me. Yes, I remember.
Good. Yeah. I'm sure they'll recognize you then.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we watch as like the pair of you walk up the stairs, and I think he opens the door and holds it open for you, like after you, young lady.
Thanks.
My day, we always tried to do the right thing, and he like kind of follows you in, and I think you hear a voice like, Mr. Whitaker! Oh, he's back, Gerard! Oh, and so a few folks like kind of come over to you, nurse, and there's like an orderly person who like walks in and puts an arm around him, like, "Are you all right, Gerard? Oh, we've been looking for you for a few days now." And the nurse kind of looking to you, Lyra, like, "Where did you find him?"
Um, in an alley, just
Oh.
wandering around.
And the orderly's like, "Oh, Mr. Whitaker, I wish you would just tell me when you want to go take a walk. I've told you dozens of times we'll come with you. We need to get you cleaned up, some clean clothes. You probably need a good night of rest." And Gerard's like, "I am so tired. My bones and my head hurts badly. Thank you, young lady.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Whitaker.
You too. Maybe if it's
I'll-
not too much to ask, maybe you could come and visit."
Yeah, absolutely. I will, definitely.
And I think the orderly is kind of like walking him away at this point, very sort of gently, you know. It's not like a let's drag this old man off type thing,
Okay,
you know.
good.
And he's very kind of like consoling him, patting him on the shoulder, like, "Wasn't that nice, Gerard? Look at that. That was lovely of her to bring you back here. Are you all right? Are you feeling? You said your head." And they're kind of like talking as they go, and he just kind of like waves to you, turning back, and we just hear him like, "It's the strangest thing. I don't remember anything really. It's starting to come back, but the past few days are just a blur." And the nurse, I think, like looking to you, Lyra, is like, "It's very sweet of you. He's been suffering with senile dementia for a few years now. His family's all gone. There's really no one left. He's been gone for 3 days. We didn't know what happened to him."
Can I ask you something though? If you
course.
don't mind.
Yes.
Has he been like acting strange at all? Like, in particular, like in the past like month or so? Like any like
Seemingly-
isolated incidents?
I think she's like, "Look at this cat.
Yes,
Jeez, Sheldon. Mod
I
on.
love it.
Mugging
He's
for
a
the
ham.
camera.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, this guy's a born star. I think that she's just like, it's always hard with the dementia patients, but I mean, he's had a few flare-ups in this last month or so, if that's what you mean.
Like, what do you mean, like flare-ups?
Well, he wandered off a few weeks ago as well, and we found him in the park. I'm not sure how he managed it. He's a frail man, but well, he was riding a horse. in circles around the park. And people said that he kept calling out 3 days, 3 days, that he would be there in 3 days with the coming of the dawn. I'm not sure. We did find him digging holes in the backyard as well last week. He kept talking about trolls and treasure, and it was very confusing. But he's had a hard time of it.
Yeah, I was asking just because he was saying some interesting things when I found him. So yeah,
Well,
I just wondered.
It's very kind of you to bring him back. I mean, lots
Yeah,
of people in the city wouldn't think twice about an old, confused man.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'd like to come visit him more.
Oh, of course, yeah. The visiting hours are most days. I think she like gives you a card and like the information and like kind of tells you his room. Here's his phone number. Of course, he doesn't have a cell phone, but all the rooms have landlines. It's quite fortunate, actually. His daughter paid well in advance before she passed. But well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon or something. Bye.
So with that, the kind of scene fades. And so, yeah, where do we find Iggy?
Iggy goes home. Iggy. I don't know if this would be. If just texting. I guess he would text Lyndon and see if he's okay. He would say, "You okay?"
I think that I think you get a text back that's just like I think so. Thank you very much, Iggy. The rest of your friends are kind of hard, but I really appreciate what you did for me.
Iggy will do that, like hashtag fact send. Then he'll say, rest up. Cool with me giving you a call later tonight? Question mark sent.
Sure thing. I'm exhausted.
Thumbs up sent. And then I don't know if that counts as preparing for your next activity as listed.
Oh, sure.
In montage. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Then I will recover all my burnt power tags, which is one.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And Iggy will like crash.
Boom.
I don't know if he has a job tonight or not. But if he does, he's not going to have to do anything about it until maybe 3 p.m. Start preparing. So
sure.
At the very least, he can get looks like a solid at least 6 hours in of sleep.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Cool. So that's Iggy's actual montage. Escher, how about you?
I think Escher is pretty rattled from everything that's been happening and their inability to like successfully do anything. They've tried and failed at a lot of things in the last like 24 hours. And I think particularly, so they're like exploring their mythos because they're like, how come my powers don't work? Is like sort of the attitude of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that they are going to, where did my sheet go?
I don't know.
I got it. I think they're gonna spend a while like standing in the mirror, like looking at themselves.
Ooh.
Because they're exploring their subversion. Because not once has rolling with these power tags worked. The like 3 times that I've done it mechanically.
Escher's subversion theme book for those out there is Beguiling Beauty.
Yeah.
And the mystery, am I more than just my good looks? It's interesting.
And now it kind of feels like they're less than just their good looks. Like their good looks are not really accomplishing much. Um, but I think they're gonna try and see if they can almost like focus in on that and start to change their appearance at will. The way that like Jonathan has wings that like shoot out of his back. They're like, well, why don't I just suddenly get stunningly beautiful when I am attempting to like, impress people? So they're gonna like the way that in Harry Potter, a metamorph magus will like sit in the mirror and be like, I'm gonna make my nose do this now.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what Escher is trying to do, to be like, can I like summon this glamour when I want to use it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I think we see Escher's like face in the mirror, right? The reflection over their shoulder as they kind of like turn their head, moving it just so. And I think with like the slight like turns and movements, like we see the face like changing ever so subtly, right? As Escher is like starting to gain this mastery. So this is interesting because you gain a clue. In order, like directed towards your mystery itself. Am I more than just my good looks? So you have like a clue towards like the answer of that question if you want to like drive in closer towards it. If that feels very like nebulous, it doesn't have to be addressed. But you mark attention on that theme at the very least.
That's what I was more interested in.
Okay.
I think the mysteries that we all kind of started with are a little abstract.
Yeah. I think so as well. I think so as well. And I think we've learned a lot, and we'll kind of circle back around to that. So put a pin in the note that you have a clue there. Maybe that's something we revisit before the end of tonight. Maybe not.
Okay.
But, okay. So we see Escher, like, exploring themselves, trying to, like, decipher, like, what exactly their power is, what they can do, what it is to be this beguiling beauty. And, yeah, so Jonathan, how about you? In the immediate aftermath of the morning.
I think, he does need to listen to his friends and go back to the hospital and gunshot wounds.
Yes.
Even though they've been patched up by Nick, I think he still needs to actually recover.
Yeah, we see Jonathan come like walking back into the hospital, and they're just like, and like, and the like montage just kind of takes it back up into the hospital room where he's hooked back up to the IVs and the machines, and like, there's that note of like the nurse at the door, like, is there anything else that we need for you? You need.
I might come and go. Just a warning, like fresh air and all that.
Sure.
Did anyone else come while I was gone? Like, was there anybody else that stopped by?
Oh, I'm not sure. I wasn't working that shift, and I think like it's at that point you look down on like the bedside table, and like wedged in the pyramid of pudding is like a note, kind of like flapping there, Jonathan. You like reach out and pull it out and unfold it, and it's just like I think it just says like, God damn it, you're making this hard, Keeley. Call me, Perez.
I think he is gonna call her right away, actually.
So the phone's like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, hello?
Hey, Perez, we missed each other a bunch tonight, I hear.
You slippery son of a bitch.
You can tone down the flirting. Like, we can keep this professional this time. Look, I'm calling you. Obviously, we're in the thick of it. So are you. We've got some advancements in this case. Some that you're gonna like to hear, some that you might not like. But I feel like I can trust you more than other people, I guess.
You can. I've been trying to tell you that since I met you the other night, Keeley. God damn it, I'm not working against you. I'm just trying to do my job and keep the people in this city safe.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that with me, trust is earned. And whenever I heard you were on the scene at the museum tonight, trust was earned. So let's get there,
I think you just hear like, well, I don't know if this helps earn any trust on your part, but I've been dismissed.
Oh, from the task force?
Yes. It turned into a total shit show. The Andersons said that they got attacked out there, the dumpster. I don't know. The whole story I didn't get. They deployed helicopters.
Yeah.
The mayor is furious. Anyway, I've been taken off the job.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, look, this might be easier to tell you than like it's all Erastus. I didn't want to say it's your big boss, but it's Erastus behind all this, man. I'm really sorry for you and the loss of your job, but you're gonna bounce back. You're awesome at this.
Well, it's just, thankfully, the appointment. I'm back at the precinct, on the beat. Listen, I know that this has been a lot of bumping heads. You're a real pain in my ass, but it's no longer my official position to hunt you down and get answers for all of this shit. So maybe, we have coffee sometime. We could trade professional information, because I want to know what the fuck happened the last couple of days.
Hey, yeah, I like that. There's a coffee spot by the library I frequent.
You alright? You got shot?
I mean, a couple times, but just a couple.
You don't need to play tough guy with me. Where the fuck were you? Were you hiding in the bathroom or something?
Oh, in the hospital. No, I just I had to spread the wings, stretch a bit. Came back.
God, you people are strange.
Yeah.
Alright, listen, when you get healed up, let's have coffee.
Yeah, I think we each have a lot to tell each other.
Sounds
like,
right.
Honest this time.
Well, we'll see where we end up. Alright,
Fair.
listen, Keely, feel better. I got an asshole who owes me money. I'll talk to you later.
Have fun with that. And then I think he hangs up and it just kind of like chuckles and stares out the window.
That
Yes.
is awesome. So just for me to like follow up with you guys, Lyra, like you dropped off Gerard. You
Yeah.
didn't really get a montage beat. Jonathan, you're using your montage to recover from your conditions, right?
I've got a couple of those.
Yeah, fundamentally, it's going to be like a few days in the hospital where you'll be healed up. Lyra, how about you?
I mean, I think
we had you dropping off Gerard, but like if you want to actually do a montage move here.
Yes, yeah, I think Lyra will like text everybody once she leaves and be like, I'll catch up with you guys, but like, yeah, Gerard was gone for 3 days. Definitely might be a problem again. Like, I'll like keep you guys posted. But I think that she's gonna go right back to the gym and like, shower, take a nap, all that. But I think that she's gonna explore her mythos. And I think it's gonna be what was it gonna do? Yeah. Divination.
Okay.
Cause yeah, I mean, I think that maybe she had some questions answered as well.
You might well have. So Lyra's divination mythos, you cannot hide. Are the other rings out there is your mystery. So as you explore your mythos, you get to mark attention on it, which is actually going to create an advancement right here for your divination theme book. And you also can get a clue towards your mystery. Are there other rings out there?
Yeah, so I think Lyra is going to sit down and do her, kind of like reaching out. And like I think that it looks like a little scary too. Like I think she doesn't mean for it to be, and she's not like looking at herself in a mirror. But I think that like she's like has her eyes closed and she's like maybe like sitting on like the bed or something.
Is she like sitting on the bed in complete darkness? Is this one of these like you're probably in a room in the gym that's like windowless? Because this is not like an ideal place to live, and you sit down on the small bed and like flip the light switch and it's just like impenetrable darkness, right? Okay.
Yes. So yeah, and I think that like the darkness gets darker.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's just like and specifically like around her, like it's it's just darkness. But yeah, she like reaches out and tries to see, and like she knows where Gerard is now, so she does like she knows, but she's still gonna reach out like in that direction to just sort of confirm her fears and like what she already knows, but also reach out elsewhere to see if she can feel anybody else, especially now that she's encountered somebody else. She's gonna try and look for that same
Okay,
energy.
I think last time you did this, you were able to recognize that there were like these old and familiar kind of presences in this city that are tethered to you somehow. So as you earn this clue, you are able to like spend the clue, like what's the question? Like just like you use the other clue, like you could tell me an answer potentially to the question, but you have a clue you can burn here to direct towards are there other rings out there? To like, do you want to ask me something explicitly or tell me something?
I guess the question would be like, is there one like close?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
is
Okay.
there
Yep. And so I think that as like Lyra is like reaching out, and there's like this general recognition, right? As the room grows like darker around her, we see the silhouette of this girl in the shadowy darkness of the room like vanish. And when I think we feel the like vibration of it, right, through the camera, we hear the kind of thrumming of sound. And I think as you are like reaching out, this all-seeing eye peering across the city from this impossible height, like you see the like faint dim glow from the retirement home. But as you scan the rest of the city, I think there's a point where like you're in close, right? You're looking around at the base of you, and I think that yeah, I think that you stop as you realize like there is like one of the rings like close, like somewhere here in this part of like the city, not very far from like the place you call home. There definitively is. I think that you recognize like one of the old rings, one of like the old sources of power that you were created to dominate. And I don't even know how she like conceptualizes that, but you sense
Yep.
this like presence that like should be yours to control. So yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think that
Intense.
there's that moment where like if like where like Lyra's face like looking at her and it's like pitch darkness around her, and I think that there's this moment where like this like grin this like comes across her face, but then she like sort of like furrows her brow and like it goes away, and then she like blinks her eyes open and like it turns back into like normal dim light, and she, you know, her shoulders sag. And yeah, so fittingly, the improvement for divination that I wanted to do is let me find the question. Um, who am I?
You're giving yourself a new power tag?
I'm giving myself a new power tag. I was going to do open book, which would do dynamite stuff. But I think I'm gonna go with, and I might need, like, I don't really know what to name it specifically, but so J, what new frontier of knowledge lies at the edge of your divination? And I think that it's like this awareness of like other powers.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk through this a little bit more as we
Yeah.
kind of like as we pause afterwards. But so we're gonna open up the more divination that you're aware of, like the other myths in the city, the other rifts and all of that. Okay, cool. Do you mean it specifically in relation to your mythos, the ones that are tethered to you, or no? You just mean in general, like?
I was thinking, because I think that the wording of what was I thinking? What did I read? It was like something specific about like my mythos. So I think maybe like narratively, like it's easier for her to sort of sense the ones that are connected to her, but maybe like in these moments where she's like trying to reach out and like look specifically, like that's a different thing.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Like I don't think she can just sense everybody, but like she can look.
Yep. That's exactly reasonable. Okay, cool. And so let me just touch back on Iggy. Like, you finish your like job that afternoon. You like handle your dinner for that night, and you wanted to touch base with Lyndon.
Oh, yeah. I didn't figure that was going to be.
It
part of
doesn't
this
have to be. No,
section.
it doesn't have to be.
No, yeah. No. I figured that I was like shutting down the Iggy train when he went to bed at
Okay.
6 in
Okay.
the morning.
So I think that like I just want to circle around one time and like put it open to all of you guys, kind of as you all like go through this montage, healing up, recuperating from the harrowing 3 days that you all have experienced over the last 3 months as we've played all this out. Nick in the group chat, like, I'm really sorry, guys, my family. I'm sure everything with Lyndon will be fine.
I think Lyra does go like after like a day of like rest. I think she does go like maybe like whether it's at night or like afternoon. She does go to the hospital and like hang out with Jonathan.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah. So I think
Have some pudding.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that for the sake of things, this is not officially like the montage move, but I think like in the aftermath of this investigation of the serial murders in the docks at the Neon City at the hands of one shape-changing buffalo demon, Mahishasura, the ancient enemy of Durga, the reason Durga was created, according to the creation myths, having been put to bed, as it were. Lyndon not in jail, but no longer killing, filled with regret for his actions somewhere out there in the city. Gerard Whitaker back in his retirement community, confused and addled. The Erastus siblings living their lives as sort of philanthropists and business moguls, the pair of them. Charlie out there watching things happen wherever he be. I'm gonna just ask you all.
Yeah, good for him.
Where do we like see you all? Like what happens in like the next like weeks of the lives of these 4 people?
I think for Lyra, like I think it becomes routine that like she she'll stay with like Margaret and like, start training a little bit more again. But I think that she'll like hang out with Jonathan and like, go check up on like Iggy and Escher at like every once in a while and like keep their group chat going. But I think that she makes it a habit, like probably not every day, but I think that every day she does like go to the retirement home and like visit with Gerard.
Okay. I love it.
And then like the rest of the time she spends like training her like mythos, and I think she fully dives into that and spends like nights like she used to, like jumping around the city, but also like probably trying to spy on like this ring that's near where she lives.
So I think that
like...
we see, if I could take some liberties, I think like as the montages of like the 4 of you transition, we see like Lyra with Jonathan kind of prowling around the city, Jonathan like showing her the old like photography equipment, the days in the hospital, the like various trips of her in like kind of different wardrobes and clothes, kind of heading into the retirement home and sitting with Gerard, and then her like kind of leaping across like the roofs of the buildings, and probably these moments where she stops on like the tall buildings, like the monolithic eye, like peering out over the neon lights of the city, searching for that which she is here to rule.
I also think that like the montage of like flip cards of like days, like we watch like her hair, like at one point there's like the blue at the ends, but then like another point it's like the blue is cut off and it is just like black. Like
no.
Yeah, like Yeah.
What about the rest of you guys? What do we see? I guess it makes sense to go to Jonathan. What do the days after your healing look like for you?
Yeah, I think like Lyra, Jonathan's also kind of leaning into his mythos a lot more than he was
Yeah.
before. Is like really trying to like test out his wings, like his new
Yeah.
power. I think where it used to scare him a little bit or be more of like that's a terrifying part of me. Now it's more he seems more excited to do that and is less. I think now seeing firsthand how criminals are very complex, it's changing his relationship with like I have to like stop all of crime in the
Yep.
city. I think he's understanding that like it's more nuanced and like maybe his way of helping the city isn't by like throwing everyone in jail or getting them killed. And so I think a lot of it is him kind of like rethinking a bit of his like what does it mean for him? Like it's fine for his job, to take photos to get that in, but is is he still have like the same missive? Like is he on that mission to end crime or is there something
Sure.
more? And so I think he's kind of soul searching a little bit, but at the core of it really like flying a bunch.
Excellent.
Like kind of testing his wings out, just going as far and as fast as he can.
Hell yeah. A point of transition, right? As like the pair of you, at least, of this small crew that you've gathered together, embracing these like mysteries that have come and found you, embracing the side of you, for better or for worse, that draws you into the supernatural around you, right? These like new, strange and formidable strengths that you've discovered. Okay, cool. Iggy, how about you?
And I think he does go and meet up with Perez for coffee. I don't think he ignores her or is ghosting her.
No,
or
hell
anything.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's like I don't think he is seriously like trying to make a relationship happen. It's more just like he enjoys being close with
Yep.
everyone. So just seeing if it could go somewhere, it's more of a got to keep that open
I think
for
as like
him.
the Lyra montage like bleeds over and we see like Lyra with Jonathan sometimes and Jonathan like, considering and pensive, reflecting as like these crimes are happening and we see the pair of you like sitting in the coffee shop a couple of blocks away from the kind of library and she is definitely like not pursuing you in that kind of way, but I think there is a measure of like professional like companionship and like courtesy there of this sense of like, like you were like just right through my fingers every time, like fucking sand, Keely, like fucking sand,
And then, like I think back at her too. He's like, "You smelled me out faster than any other cop. Nobody's ever on my tail, but you always
Lyra,
do."
it like makes fun of you all the time
Yeah.
for it. Like just like she was with Escher and Charlie. She's like, "You guys go to oh, you're meeting up with Perez? Say hi to her for
I do
me."
think
It's just
Yeah,
friends.
yeah, I do think that there's like this dynamic of her being like stupid fucking task force. Like she's filled with a bit of resentment and definite hostility towards the special agent Andersons, and the fact that like this mayor's a douchebag. Most of these cops are idiots, but now that she's back with the 13th precinct, she just like wants to do right, and there is this commonality of like this need to like protect the city, like stop crime, stop the people who are dangerous, and I think it ties in with that. Like Jonathan knows everybody, and Perez is like now just kind of like another contact for you, an important contact probably as a detective, right? Who still like has a badge and a gun and authority and all that shit of like, while you're operating very differently and you exist in these different kind of compartments, the Venn diagram overlaps just enough that like she's like, yeah, like don't lose my number, Keely. Fair enough, And so, yeah, as kind of like the scene fades out from the pair of you kind of coming out of the diner going your separate ways, how about Iggy? Where do we find Iggy as like we close out?
He's just continuing with his private chef gig in terms of he's got a small but frequent list of clients that he continues to nurture, and he probably kind of takes on I think we said last session like almost like a sponsor role for Lyndon.
Oh yeah.
But he will check in. He doesn't want to he's not going to call him every day because the guy will need his space, but he'll probably set up a time, say, hey, check in once or twice a week, whatever works for you. But let's just make sure that you're doing okay.
Yep, cool. And I think that if I can take some liberties here, Kurt, for Kevin, even for that matter, I think there's a point as like we see the montage of kind of Iggy back to his life, like working his gig. We see like the phone ring, and it's like Lyndon's name flashing up on Iggy's phone as he like picks it up. Like, there's a relationship there that Lyndon is like appreciative to have somebody who like he can talk to. But I think that we see like as the montage kind of like is closing out, like the car pulls up and Iggy gets out of it, and he's probably carrying a bunch of like ingredients and has bags and stuff, and we see Nick like step out the door of his parents' house as Iggy like finally is gonna come make that meal for like Nick and his family. While Mr. Shivdar is like laid up with his broken bones, healing his injury, and so you meet Nick's family, right? And like, yeah, we see that like scene in the backyard of like the old man with the cast, and like the mother like fussing over him, and like, you should be more like Iggy. Look, he's got such a good job, all that, right? And so finally, Asher, what about you?
Escher sticks to themselves mostly. Like, they're not gonna ignore the group chat, or if like Lyra is reaching out to like hang out or whatever, they'll go. But they are not initiating contact or anything with anybody. They're kind of just like focused on figuring out what's going on with them and what they want to do with like the information that is happening. Because like, is it the right thing to do to like, make a short film about what's going on, or like turning it into like an investigative like journalism series, or is it more like, keep this to myself until I can figure it out better? Okay. And I think they're leaning towards the latter right now. Okay. Like, there's still so much that's not clear, and like it feels really dangerous, clearly, that they're not about to go shouting it at people. But it also feels extremely important. So it's funny because like my mission theme book advanced tonight, but I think that's also the one that they're like paying attention to the least.
I dig it. I dig it. And so we'll talk about that. But I think that like in the midst of like Asher's kind of like montage of like struggling to like determine what's right, what the right course of action is, like in the midst of like the shots of them in the studio apartment, the Christmas lights kind of filling the space up, I think Asher is being like inundated with emails from Erastus that are all these like grant opportunities to like, oh, there's all this money. Like, it's clear like Erastus is like throwing money at you to like, I'll fund this, we'll fund that, we could fund this, we could fund that, and
yeah, they don't want to be beholden to that guy,
and this big like,
or to Anastasia either. I don't know.
No, it's very much Archibald, who's like there's money coming at you.
Absolutely not. In no world is Escher taking his money.
There's money coming at you from like the Erastus Enterprises to be like, oh, like, what about this global warming thing? What about the Save the Whales documentary? What about like a thing about the homeless people? What about? And it's like perpetual, like delete. Like the subject lines change, but like the result is the same.
It's probably various other like shell companies too that are like under the foundation or like subsidiaries.
I think it totally is.
And it's like you keep Googling and it's like, no, it always comes back to this fucking guy.
There's like a lot of that energy. And so I think that it's with that, as we see like the emails like being deleted, that we fade to like black again, and like I think that the lingering shot is like of the city awash in like the neon lights of the signs and the billboards and the cards, and and we hear like the boss come on as like the credits roll, you know what I mean? And that, I think, is where we close season 1 of Kings of Neon. I think that this is like our soft and informal reset, as Kevin's going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and as this like whole like case mystery was kind of coming to a close in this really big moment of like climactic crescendo. I think that we all kind of feel like this is like a good point for us to kind of like stop down, put a pin in like this first chapter of our story, as it were, and like the end of the first season of the show, or the end of like the first graphic novel, or the end of the first like, you know, chapter of the book or book in the series, or however you want to view it. We put a pin in things tonight, and so to that, we can geek out to the credits like we normally do, if you guys want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, so who's got thoughts here as we're geeking out? I, first of all, just want to geek out that, like, man, this was a bunch of fun. Like, I was, like, a little like, oh, boy, what's going to happen when we come back tonight? But that was wild. And, like, mad props, Taylor, to, like, making things happen. Like, you came in hard and, like, you really gave me a lot of fun stuff to play with today. And I'll talk more about that before we, like, part for the night here. But, yeah, geeking out to the credits. You guys tell me.
I would like, I know I didn't have as much of a close interaction with any of the other players, but I would like to mark our third attention on our crew theme.
Hell yes.
If we could, because it feels like a good point at the end of this season. We have a general idea of like, one, that like Lyndon isn't after us now, Perez isn't after us. We're like really honing in on like that idea of like who is searching for us and why. Like I think we have a good sense of what is happening in this city and how we fit in.
Cool. So that's for all of you. You can mark attention on your crew theme, and that's going to be an advancement, which we don't have to talk about now, but certainly is a thing that we will evolve before like we come back for our next episode, right? Unless you guys want to talk
Also,
through it now.
we need to remember our old advancement next time.
Tight like that.
Oh, I totally
You
forgot.
get like an
Does
extra
what?
juice.
I forgot, but like all those moments where you guys used your help on one another would have actually been 2 juice. Yeah, that's a big one. I totally overlooked that.
I mean, we all
Yeah,
did.
I mean, learning curves, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there now. Okay.
But also, it's hard because it's also on the back of the
I know,
card.
it is. We have to like pay attention to that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
a question for clarity then, because it says once per session. So really it only would have happened one time,
True.
right? Not
Yeah,
each time
really
one
good
of
call.
us did
yeah.
it.
It just would have been like one of
Yeah.
those beats that like one of you could have called on that. Yep.
Yeah.
But cool, very cool. I think that's a really good one, Sheldon. Like I like it narratively as we kind of come to a close. I feel like we've really identified a lot about the characters and about the crew itself, and I think it's really like perfect to see that advance as we kind of put a close in this chapter. So cool. That's Sheldon. Who else?
I think Lyra will do organic help point with Jonathan because he definitely helped out when she was in that battle. Like, you know, seeing a friend amidst that like blinding, radiant light, and like that being helpful was great. So yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take a help point with Jonathan. That really makes sense. Jonathan like showed up in your absolute desperate moment of need, and I think that there was like a lot of like Lyra evolving over the course of like this season from what you thought she might be at first, and like the whole relationship with Jonathan being like much more important, right? Of like the two of you being more like the misfits of this whole kind of group in a sense, and like these like alley skulking like truth seekers for very different reasons. But there's like a lot of overlap there, and I loved seeing that relationship like evolve over the last couple of months. Has been a delight. So that makes sense totally.
I think Escher's actually going to take a help point with Iggy because he got Lyndon out of there so that he didn't get abducted
by the cops, by the
special
not cops.
agents Anderson, cops who are not cops, authority figures, the list of their inability to actually arrest people. You know, their whole thing was like, I think we can't totally control what we can do, so clearly Lyndon can't totally control what he can do, and he shouldn't go to prison for that, at least certainly not until we have a better understanding of what's going on. And Iggy previously wanted to call the cops, and instead this time got him out of there. So I think that's a good thing,
That's
and
awesome.
they feel good about that.
Yeah. I think like the relationship between Iggy and Escher has like evolved a good deal from the beginning as like this very sort of annoying like brother dynamic or whatever, sibling dynamic, right? That has really like grown into something like fascinating. The pair
He's
of you,
so
like,
earnest,
they're-
and that's so not like Escher's jam at all.
Yeah. But they have to like kind of appreciate the earnestness at the end of
Yeah.
the day and like his evolution. Cool, that makes sense. So Escher takes a help point with Iggy, and that leaves us at Iggy. Where are you at, Kurt?
Iggy's going to pass. I think he had more interaction with the
Okay.
NPCs. Like he can't take a help point with Lyndon, but so
Okay, makes sense. That's fine. And so yeah, I guess with that officially done, as we have officially geeked out to the credits, I say to you guys, bravo, well done. We have officially like played 10 episodes of City of Mist, and I've like really enjoyed it. Like this is a game like we talked about at the beginning, but like Kurt had cued me into a couple of years ago, and I very quickly read it because I'm like OCD and compulsive. It was at a time in life where like I wasn't running 100 games a week, and so what I would do is like read whole rule books because I'm insane, and was like, oh my god, I love this game. And I'd run it a few times before we started this game, but only like one shots, right? Like let's pick it up and let's play and make some characters, and that was really fun. But this is very different now, like digging into a campaign and seeing a crew and like evolving with it. So like my headspace as we kind of put a pause in like, okay, season 1 wrapped, is like, first of all, we've established who the characters are a little bit, right? That whole process of like make the role-playing game character without ever having played the game is like really challenging.
Yes.
And even when you know the game, the second you make the character and start playing it with the other people and the storyteller,
Yes.
and you figure out the context, everything changes, right? You're discovering. And I don't want that to be over. I'm not trying to say the discovery is done, but we've learned a lot to help orient where we go from here. So I think the space between here and like when we play again will be a lot of like, let's adjust the mysteries and the identities, and maybe even some of like the power tags in terms of like, I really want to like say to you, Taylor, like, I think you did a great job of like attacking the rules in the sense of like not necessarily going to do a bunch of homework of like how do the rules work, but like you engaged with them in the session. You found ways to like keep pulling on your weakness tags, evolving, like shattering the theme book was big. Very much like the cracking of that one identity and the like manifesting of a new mythos created a nemesis that I think is like really interesting.
cool.
It was like a really interesting thing for me to play with, and like what does that mean, you know? And so thank you for like first of all like the emotional vulnerability of you having to fight Gandalf was very
I like want to go cry
poignant.
about
So great.
that. All and now all I can think about is like this spin-off show in my head of like these people that are meant to be nemesis or nemesi, whatever the plural of that is.
Nemesis.
And you know, creating this beautiful relationship because the one like doesn't know, and then
Yeah.
my god,
It's very
I love
poignant. It's pretty
the
beautiful.
idea of a geriatric fellowship.
oh
Like,
my
just that
yeah, but it's great. I love it.
It's very fun. Anyway, I appreciate you like attacking the rules just as a player and like forcing us to engage with them, right? Because like it's really easy to like be overwhelmed by all of it. There's so many moving parts, and I think as a group we did a great job, like slowly kind of taking on more and more of it, you know. But yeah, I don't know, very cool stuff. Like these characters are really interesting. I think we've revealed obviously like Lyra and Jonathan and Nick in terms of their mythos in very explicit ways where we're kind of talking about them and addressing them, and they've come to the forefront. But Iggy and Escher remain a bit of a mystery, and I think that's kind of fun. That's a fun space for us to come into. And yeah, I don't know, just to like take stock of you guys. What do you all think so far? Where are we at as we're at episode 10? What do you think of City of Mist, of Kings of Neon, of all of it?
I love this game. Said it before, say it again. I love
Yeah.
it.
The game has a lot of like really cool potential that other RPG systems don't have. Like there's both mysteries for like an audience for when we're doing this, but then for us, like there's so many like moments of revelation of like, oh, I know who this is, but then that's like, but what does that mean for me now? Like
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
unique.
I think that's a really astute observation, Sheldon. It is really cool that there's like an element for the audience, but also an element for the players. I mean, I guess this game isn't necessarily meant to have an audience, so like, of course, you want to have that mystery for the players, but we kind of get to do both. And I think also as we've got like the game gets more interesting as we get a better handle on the rules, because as you're saying, Rich, about Taylor, like you can really figure out how to like use them to shape the story more than just like talking to each other in character, which obviously we can do forever, but like where the interesting things happen is, you know, when you leave it up to the dice and then you have to figure out how to interpret that into the story. So it's really cool.
Our boy Pia in the chat is saying the mechanics are super interesting and fun to watch
Thanks,
play
Pia.
out. That's cool. Hey,
Hi,
Ari, what's
Pia.
up? It's fun, right, Adam? Like, it's really interesting to see it play out. And so to that end, like, as we, like, kind of step back for a minute, I want you all to feel, like, empowered to kind of go in and we can tweak some stuff, right? If there's things that we feel like with context now we can understand a little better, let's adjust them so that we're able to dig into them. I think especially, like, that beat at the end of, like, of Escher, like, exploring their mythos and like, okay, well, you get a clue to answer this question, right? The idea is the mysteries should be like we saw with Lyra, but it's about this idea of make a hard choice, right? And so the mysteries and the identities attached to like these theme books should be such that it's easy for me to put you as players in a position where like you have to make a hard choice, right? Like the mystery should be a thing. It's this idea that like the mythos is separate from the character, like as much as they're connected, and like they are like connected, like the mythos is an external force that's actively pushing the logos part of your character towards like answering these questions. You know, that like the One Ring is an external thing driving the person that is Lyra to be like, are the other rings out there? Where are they? Find them. Are they out there? Find them. You know what I mean? And that's like an active thing that we've discovered that we can like use to push, right? So like reframing those in ways that it's not for me, it's for you, because you're the only ones who can call on that. Like, I think I'm making a hard choice here. I'm supposed to be like setting you up, creating the layups, putting the position where like, is this a hard choice or not? And that's a hard thing to like identify, but I hope that you guys feel equipped to do that. And yeah. What do you think, Kurt? What's your take after 10 weeks here? Where's your head at with City of Mist, with Kings of Neon?
It's complicated. I have a complicated relationship with Kings of Neon. Yes, no, it's I'm still forming my opinion.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I've like had a lot of fun with getting here, and I feel better equipped to like go forward. I think for anybody out there who's like hung with us this whole time, we'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks. We're going to talk as a group. We're down Kevin a couple of weeks, and I really like having the full group dynamic. I don't want to do too much without him, but I could see a world where maybe we spend a couple of weeks doing like some almost like side quests. I don't want to say that, but like we can come in with just the four of us and do some other stuff that's sort of like an interlude between when we pick back up with like the full proper crew. But City of Mist is a game that it's built on the Apocalypse engine. The Apocalypse World is a game by Vincent Baker in 2011. That's the fundamental system of 2d6 plus or minus, you know. And in Apocalypse World, the numbers are much smaller than what we get to in City of Mist. There are times we're rolling power tags with like +5, -2. Like it's always going to be like within 3 in Apocalypse World. So part of me thinks like, gosh, it might be fun to just like crack out Apocalypse World, which is much simpler. It is not like a 500-page rule book to be like, let's just try that and maybe play like a one-shot of that or like a two-shot of that in a couple of weeks. Maybe let's touch in with the characters. Maybe let's do what we did like when I ran this game City of Mist for the Sabotage the DM guys. Let's crack out like some prefabs or make new characters and do something that's a little more volatile where we feel like we can drive it like we stole it and like set the characters in the world on fire, you know. That might be fun. So we'll chat chat during the week. But if anybody out there is like keeping up with us, has feelings, like if you folks are here at the end of like 3 hours in on episode 10 and you have a thought of like, I would love to see you do this, hit me up, hit up the players. Our Twitters are out here scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Touch base, let us know what you think. But thank you guys for like hanging out for this journey so far. I hope you're like excited. I hope it feels good, like a soft reset of season 2 feels like a good, like, okay, cool, let's put a little shot in the arm and like fire it back up again. I don't know, do you guys have any closing thoughts here before we kind of go around and say our farewells?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Taylor, what's going on with you? Where can people find you?
Ronnie422 on Twitter, Ronnie422 _ on Instagram. I did my live stream last week, which was fun. Definitely.
So that would be twitch.tv/Ronnie422.
Yes, indeed it
Cool.
would be.
Go follow her right now.
Yes, follow me. I'm sort of like, getting my sea legs. I definitely was like super nervous last week and was like just making my way. I did love Slime Rancher though, Sheldon. Thank
Good.
you again
I've
for
been
that.
meaning to ask you.
It was I knew I would love it, and it's just so funny, like just the whole thing, because I went in there and I was like guns a-blazing, and then everything got chaotic, which I knew that it would, and then I was like, okay, I love this, but then you just look at their little cute faces and you're like, I love you. I just want to thank you.
I was really endeared. I watched like pretty much the whole stream. I wasn't able to like super focus the whole thing, but there was a point where like you were first loading up your slimes and your little like slime areas or whatever, and the slimes were all like floating up out of the top, and you were just like, well, that's fine. A bunch of you are just going to be hanging out right here now. That's fine. That's fine. You guys are, you guys are all just going to be here, and that's cool. Like, it really cracked me up,
Yeah, definitely a very Taylor game. But yeah, like I said, getting my sea legs, getting like not nervous. But on my Twitter, I put up a poll actually, like for what.
Ooh, I voted.
Yes, what I was thinking of doing next, because like Slime Rancher is a game I would love to play, but I'm going to use that to sort of get into it. But I would love to either do, more Slime Rancher. Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, because it's always been a game like I'm a BioWare fan in terms of Dragon Age, but I never really stepped into the Mass Effect world, and it's timely that like it just came out.
I definitely voted Dragon Age because I like know you in your real life, and we've talked for years, and I know you're a fan of the game, and you know it well.
Textbooks of Dragon Age timeline.
I would love to see you like dig into something that you know and have a bunch of love for that you can like gush about, but also like it's a game that I would play, but like gosh, what a bunch of time. I don't have the time to invest in that, so you play it for me and like show me what's cool. Like I would love that. I think that could be fun. Where on the other side you have Slime Rancher, a game like you're walking into cold to check it out. That's like to me the best of both worlds, right? So there's fun there. But cool. Go give Taylor a follow. Check her out.
Thursday, hopefully, yes, Thursday. So I'm gonna try and just keep your eye out. I'll post on Twitter.
Cool.
Yeah.
Super cool, Taylor. I'm excited about it. Kurt, how about you? What's going on with you? You podcasting anywhere? What's your
Not a whole lot going on. At Kurt Clark on major, minor social media networks. About it.
You can catch him here tomorrow night, humble bragging, and Tuesday probably, where he's kicking ass as both a minotaur and a turtle, both of whom are very clever. They're really fun games. I'll talk about those later. Sheldon, how about you?
Yeah, you can catch me at Sheldum on the internet. It's my name, but just dumb. And also, I am working right now. I am in a live version of Taskmaster that's going to be in LA on July 17th. Live comedy's coming back. I'm fingers crossed that we can do it live. It's in an amazing theater called the Pack Theater in LA. It's very like punk rock, if you know like LA comedy. It's a really cool place to be. So I'm jazzed about that. Hopefully I have more to tell you guys soon. It's bonkers getting to actually like play a game in a show that you love.
I bet it is, man. You mentioned it last week, and there's a bunch of people in our little corner of the internet that have been talking about it for months. And I finally was like, all right, let me throw it on. And I got through like part of the first episode, was like, all right, this is fine, but I don't think I'm going to be as into it as everybody else is. And then like fast forward to like I'm on season 4, like 5 days later, whatever. Like I'm in on the Taskmaster. It's very.
And now
funny.
you're
It's
in the
very,
sweet
very
spot.
funny.
I think like seasons 4 through 7 are like my favorite. I love all of those right there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I really liked 2 a lot. I had a lot of fun
Yeah.
with the people from 2, but I'm ready. I'm like ready to really like go in all the way. That's gonna be awesome, dude. Cool. What about you, Zed? What's your deal?
Yesterday, I started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because I am podcasting
so
about it with Josh. I've only played the first 2 chapters because we're going to go at a very painfully leisurely pace for the podcast. But that's really great. Those episodes drop on Saturday on Post Show Recaps. As soon as I get off this stream, I'm going to go watch the series finale of Pose because I'm podcasting about Pose for the patrons of Post Show Recaps with Grace Leader, and following up with a bonus episode about the Pride docuseries that FX just dropped. So go check those things out. It's Pride Month. Happy Pride, everybody. I think that's it. You're going to talk about the other thing. I'm running a play-by-post in the Discord. I'm DMing a game now with this guy. So that's happening. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, as always, for those of you out here who may be stumbling on this and don't know us, I am in charge of the Dungeons and Dragons community over at Post Show Recaps. It's really awesome. We built a really cool thing. All of us are over there. You can come play D&D pretty much with all of us. It's a great scene. Post Show Recap / or Patreon /
I got it. I'm putting it in the chat.
That's good with links. I just say words. At the end of the day, I just want to thank all the folks who've like stuck with us for Kings of Neon. I've really had a delight learning City of Mist. I'm so excited about this group. I can't wait for us to pick it back up. So we will be here next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Not sure what we're going to do, but it'll be fun. Keep your eye out. I'll give some heads up this week as we chat through it. I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, with Taylor, with Kurt Clark. We are playing The Titan's Heirs is the name of the adventure. Firelight Tales is the show. Things have come to a crescendo as the young adventurers in this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game have found the Maul of the Titans, and a rod of lordly might, no shabby item, might I say. And so they are searching the rest of this ancient dwarven tomb to see what else they can find before they press on for what might be an ultimate confrontation with the army that destroyed their village and drove them from their home. It's been a lot of fun. I'm loving that game. Tuesday night, Dragonfly, D&D in space. And so Dragonfly last week, the crew of the Dragonfly found a mech abandoned in space that is actually a giant Project Mordekaiser with the hull like rusted in the back of it as it's under attack by a bunch of kobold smugglers using rust monsters to disable spaceships and steal the important parts. It's a lot of fun.
Goodness.
Those rust
Great
monsters
freaking
were
time.
terrible.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they were terrified of the rust monsters, Taylor. They freaked right out. I had a lot of fun role playing Lux, yelling things.
Yes,
out.
I was listening.
And Jake too,
Yeah.
by the way, Kurt. Just Jake in the background with like the bees. Yeah, it was a lot. I really loved it.
I caught it in the beginning, like a little bit of, and it made me
Yeah,
very
before you
happy.
had to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some iteration or configuration of Taylor, Kurt, and Zed will be there on Tuesday night as we return for part 2 of the Project Mordekaiser episodes. With that, I just want to thank all you guys again for hanging out. Thanks for the follows. Feel free to hit me up with those Twitch Prime subs if you have lapsed. I can always use the money more than Amazon. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.